Well, what a few hours we could potentially have in store for you tuning into Match Day this afternoon. We're just moments away from our main feature now on BBC Radio Suffolk, and we have an Ipswich Town legend to enjoy it with us. He's alongside your commentator, Brenna Woolley.
Welcome to the hottest ticket in town. There's a party atmosphere at a packed Portman Road with a promotion champagne on ice. Win this afternoon and Ipswich are promoted to the Championship. The curtain will fall on 4 years at this level after next Sunday's trip to Fleetwood. Doesn't matter what happens elsewhere, 2 points from these last couple of games will get Kieran McKenna's man over the line. We could even lose today and still go up this afternoon, although obviously want to see them do it in style with what would be a 13th win in 14 matches. 31 years since the Blues' last automatic promotion. The class of 23 is on the verge of rounding off this utterly remarkable run of results by achieving what they set out to do at the back end of last July. They're the form side in the country, the top scorers in all 4 divisions, with clean sheets becoming very much the norm. Basically, they're as good as there's ever been at this level for me. Quite simply, they're just too good. Mick, one final push then, and are you like the rest of us, a bit more than quietly confident, aren't we, that Town are going to get the job done today?
Well, I think they've done remarkably well to get themselves into this position, and I would be really surprised if they don't now complete the job. I think that the team always fills me with confidence now, because whenever I watch them, I like the way they play, I like the way they set up, I like the way they go about their business, and the results have been fantastic over this last period of time. So, it's just one more occasion for them. They've negotiated it so well to get here. I don't really believe that they can sort of falter at this hurdle. So, and also I do believe tried to do a little bit of homework on Exeter, and they have got a number of their very good players missing. So the opposition are slightly weaker today than what they would have been, but it's all about how Town perform today, how they start. The last few times I've seen them play, they have started well, and that always fills you with confidence, and it's the first thing you look for. Are the players ready for the game? Are they in form? Are they together? And constantly over the last period of time, there's been tick, 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 and then you just sit back and relax, and you end up enjoying the game, and I do believe today will be the same.
Just waiting for the teams to come out of the tunnel off to our right-hand side. How on earth must they be feeling? All 22 players, in fact. The 2 starting 11s, no changes to the Town that blew away Barnsley on Tuesday night. Only one alteration, that's on the bench. Danassian replaces Lee. I'll give you the teams in one moment as Portman Road gets ready to welcome Ipswich Town out onto the field for the final time this season. It's the last home game of 23 in League One, and hopefully the last League One fixture here for some time. The atmosphere is astonishing. Yes, there's a bit of nervousness in there, anticipation as well, but the overriding emotion is one of excitement. These Ipswich Town fans are ready to explode, A, when there's a goal in the Exeter net, but then B, hopefully, in just under 2 hours from now, when fingers, toes, everything crossed, touching wood, Ipswich Town have come out on top in this game and been promoted back to the Championship with 1 game still to play, an effective dead rubber in terms of promotion in a week's time, although there would hopefully be the title to play for. As the 2 sets of players come out of the tunnel, off to my right-hand side, so many people videoing this moment, obviously a crowd in excess of 29,000, crowds in excess of 28,000 here have become the norm this season. Town supporters absolutely loving life, seeing a team and a management team as well that they can be proud of. They love what Kieran McKenna has to say. They love what his team has been doing on the pitch. They've been entertaining, they've been scoring goals, they've been keeping clean sheets, and ultimately they have been winning an awful lot of football matches and looking, for me, as good as anything we've seen at this level. Now then, they just have to get their heads down, focus, and be as relentless as they have been since they started this run of 12 wins in their last 13, and get the job done here. Donassi, the only change then to the 18, he's in for Lee. No changes therefore to the starting 11. Walton in goal. The back four, Clark, Wolfenden, Burgess and Davis. Then you've got Morsey, the captain, alongside Luongo. An attacking three across the park of Burns, Chaplin, Broadhead. Hurst leads the line up top, as he did magnificently back in his native South Yorkshire a few nights ago. He's looking for his 7th goal of the season. Broadhead now looking for his 8th. What an impact they've made since arriving in January, along with Luongo and Clark, of course. On the bench, Halatsky, Ladapo, Jackson, Edwards, Harness, Donassi and Ball. 3 changes ultimately made by Exeter. Woods comes into their goal. Borge, the 17-year-old midfielder, makes his full league debut, and Mitchell is preferred down the left. Out go Blackman, Collins and Sparks. So Woods as their keeper. The Grecians back 3, Sweeney, Aimson the captain and Hartridge. The wing-backs are Caprice and Mitchell. Chauke sits in midfield with Borge and Kite slightly in front of him. Then the front 2, neither's a striker. Key's a defensive type midfielder or fullback. Needs must at the moment. St James's Park is pushed up top. He's playing alongside winger Coley. On the bench, Blackman, who's been first choice goalkeeper. Brown, Sparks, White, Scott, Cox and Stansfield is a big lift for them, having the youngster Stansfield back. He's the only out-and-out striker they've had available for the last kind of 6 months, but he's missed the last few games. That's a bit of a boost for Gary Caldwell and co. But how easy is it going to be for these Ipswich Town players to focus on the game and not too much the atmosphere, do you think, Nick? Surely there's enough experience out there, and of course the level head of Kieran McKenna will have helped these last few days.
Well, I think they've just got to remember that what you do as a player is, first and foremost, you make sure that you're correct, you're right in everything, that you feel good. You've got to try and get your personal game going, and then after that you've got to think purely and simply about the team. You mustn't then think that you can do the whole thing on your own, that you can be the man that's going to grab the headlines. No, you get yourself right initially, and then it's all about the team. If you do that, then there can only be one winner today.
Beautiful afternoon in terms of weather, perfect condition, the pitch in excellent nick down below. So there, every kick live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Ipswich Town in blue, white, blue, just breaking away from their pre-match huddle off to our left-hand side. Up against the pink and black shirts of Exeter City, black shorts and pink socks for the visitors. Their first trip here for over 66 years in the league. Sir Alf Ramsey was in charge of Ipswich Town back in the day. Of course, Sir Alf, an exclusive list of managers that Ipswich Town promoted in the past. Kieran McKenna looking to follow in his footsteps. The man in orange, the referee Scott Oldham, did Town's defeats at Plymouth and Burnley earlier on this season. Just doing his final preparations. And Connor Chaplin, what a season he's had. 27 goals, 24 of them in the league, one behind Johnson Clark Harris for the Golden Boot. Chaplin gets the ball back to Wolfenden. Wolfenden swings it out to the left-hand side, so play underway. Ipswich Town, just to underline the fact if they win this game, it does not matter what Sheffield Wednesday do at Shrewsbury. Town have just got to get a better result than Sheffield Wednesday, and they are promoted. Exeter have a throw-in on the far side of the field. It was 2-0 to Town when these two sides met in Devon back in November. Long kick forward from Wolfenden. Comical interview with him post-match on Tuesday, which you just heard a portion of. Hartridge gets the ball to his goalkeeper Woods in all green. Wolfenden with a strong commanding header. Chaplin's crunched down in the centre of the Exeter half. Plays it to the left-hand side. Luongo, excellent from the Australian, infield towards Broadhead from Davis. Now it's Morsey patrolling in the centre of the park. A contender for Town's player of the season, no doubt. Clark's in the shade of the stand underneath us, the Ipswich right. Morsey turns towards the centre spot. Now faces up to Exeter. All 10 of their outfield players behind the ball. Morsey's nudged over. Free kick won by Ipswich Town inside the first 90 seconds. Not a spare seat, certainly in the Ipswich Town section here at Portman Road. It's actually good travelling support for Exeter as well. Many ticking off a new ground, no doubt. Burgess with a crossfield diagonal. Burns with a good header down, edge of the area. Broadhead, little back heel, beautiful from Broadhead, then clipped away, very clever by the Welshman. Cross will come Wolfenden, doesn't take any chances as he goes in on Coley, and out goes the ball up above.
Yeah, you're going to expect it to be frantic to start with, you know, because the noise that is being generated in the stadium, but we've just got to keep calm. We've got to try and get our passing going as quickly as possible.
Kind of won their last 7 on this ground, conceding just once in the process. That goal late in the first half of Port Vale here a couple of weeks ago. Town clawing their way back into that game for another deserved victory. As Exeter have it at the back, it goes back to the goalkeeper, Woods. Woods right-footed towards the centre spot with his clearance. Burgess with a header forward. Chaplin controls it, tries to lay it off with a little cushioned instep. Ball to his left and Broadhead. Exeter get out to this left-hand side for a throw-in, which is going to be taken by Harry Clark, playing up against Dimitri Mitchell. The two were teammates at Hibs this time last season. Clark with a throw down the line. Burns doesn't get anything on it really. Cleared away by Caprice towards the halfway line. Header won by Luongo. Morsey hooks it forward. Ball continually inside the Exeter half of the field. Now Exeter have a chance to break. It's with Borges. His attempted pass forward blocked off. Now they get it down the right-hand side, Exeter, but it curls away from Key. And that's an Ipswich throw at left back, which will be taken by Leif Davis.
Still remains frantic and still remains where we can't quite get our touch and our passing going, and periodically we're giving it away to Exeter, but they don't look as if they're very comfortable with the ball either.
Thrown on the far side of the field, taken by Leif Davis, another one of those contenders probably on the short list, few people's player of the season. Ball given away by Hartridge, but it was well won back actually very quickly there by Mitchell. Now on this left-hand side, Caprice, who expected him to play on the right for Exeter. That's where he's been pretty much all this season. It's an interesting selection by Gary Caldwell, who was at Barnsley the other night. Gary Caldwell clearly saw the threat of Wes Burns, so Caprice clearly looking after him on this near side first half. Still 0-0.
They probably feel that he's very much sort of a key man for Ipswich, and it needs a marker on Wes Burns permanently, and he obviously is a good marker, so they put him over this side.
Here's Chowke, the holder in midfield, losing the ball. Clark on the halfway line plays the ball to Luongo. It's his 15th appearance for Town, 12 wins and 2 draws Luongo so far. Wide left, Exeter have the ball inside the Ipswich Town area. This could be a threat. It's number 21 coming in field. Morsey's back defending. A play goes down edge of the box. Could easily have been a penalty kick. Town just don't quite get it away. At the heart of things there was Coley, the attacker. Wide on the right-hand side, Exeter have the ball outside the Town area. Put forward by Key, but it's overhit. It's a goal kick to Walton, but that was half a chance for the visitors.
Yeah, Morsey's hurt himself. He's sort of rocked over. I think the challenge came in when he wasn't quite braced for it, and he's maybe hurt his ankle. He looks in a little bit of pain, which is unusual for him.
Yeah, he's just telling Wolfen and Walton to bide their time. He's grimacing. And he's soldiering on, those you'd expect from the skipper. But a season he has had in midfield, virtual ever present. Missed the win up at Port Vale, but apart from that, undoubtedly one of the first names on Kieran McKennan's team sheet. Here is Hartridge with a looping forward throw. Wolfenden's header finds Broadhead, still inside the Ipswich Town half of the field, but it has been for the last minute or so. Here's the ponytailed Hartridge underneath. That's one of 4 academy players that are starting this game for Exeter. Another 3 on the bench. They've done ever so well at junior level historically the last 10-15 years. Really, the likes of Ollie Watkins and Ethan Ampadu have gone on to play Premier League and international football, having graduated from St James's Park. As Burgess throws the ball back to the man in bottle green, Christian Walton, inside his penalty area, off to our left-hand side. Here's Burgess. Again, of course, has to be remembered, a huge vote of thanks to Paul Cook for recruiting the likes of Walton, Morsey, Burgess, Chaplin, Burns. And could spot a player that could do the job at this level, the former Ipswich Town manager. Here is Wolfenden going long from back to front. Burns with a good leap. He does that well. He heads it in field for Hurst, battling with Aimson. Chowke comes away with the ball for Exeter. Morsey has a little nibble at him. Broadhead wins it for Town. Chaplin prods it back to Clark and tells him to take his time. Town slip a triangle of passes together involving Chaplin, Clark and now Morsey. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sports. 0-0 Ipswich Town at home to Exeter. Clark coming in field, getting away from Mitchell. Clark playing a ball with too much weight on it off the outside of his right boot for Burns. Goal kick to Woods.
Yeah, it's a little bit untidy, you know. I think we're feeling the tension a little bit. You know, we haven't quite got our passing right, and this is where you've got to get the balance right. Don't force it, but also you mustn't wait for it to come. You've got to work to make the things happen.
Time look at the 94th league goal of the season from game number 45, and can still reach 100 points with 6 from these last 2. Fleetwood away to come a week tomorrow. 12 o'clock kickoff next Sunday, that one. Burns with a throw, finding Morsey. On this right-hand side, Clark. Shrewsbury hosting Sheffield Wednesday today, incidentally. Plymouth at home to Burton. Luongo putting the ball up through the centre circle. Burgess to Davis, far touchline, infield to Broadhead. Broadhead, who clearly had eyes in the back of his head, and saw that Davis had tumbled when he was initially going to play the early ball back to him. Held it up well with the former Sunderland player trying for his second successive promotion. Morsey to Broadhead. Back it goes to Morsey. Good ball from the captain, Chaplin, edge of the box, trying to set himself. And what a goal! Connor Chaplin! Oh, what a start from Ipswich Town! Another blockbuster with his left foot, and he becomes the first Ipswich Town player for 41 years to score 28 goals in a season. We have liftoff. It's Ipswich Town 1, Exeter City 0.
Well, that's amazing. I think if the ballot for Player of the Year hasn't shut, then Connor Chaplin would have had a lot more votes there. But that was the very first bit of play where we've actually had comfortable possession. We actually got a complete switch from the right side to the left-hand side with good, clean possession. Then it was working its way back, I thought, to come all the way back to the right-hand side. But once we got it from left to centre, in it goes to Connor Chaplin, and he does the rest. That was the best bit of play we've had, and ironically, we've got ourselves in front. Well done.
No other contender for me for quite some time for player of the season. I think Morsey's been fabulous. Walton with all those clean sheets, incredible. Leif Davis, what a debut season. But this number of goals from the number 10, he has to walk it surely later on today. As Exeter come forward, far side, playing it down the pitch, headed away by Burgess. Exeter again on that right-hand side with number 16, Kite. Touched forward by Borge, the 17-year-old. Good play by Exeter. In comes Key with a good ball to the Town area. Good defending from Burns. Excellent tracking back to prevent Mitchell doing anything inside the Ipswich Town area.
Yeah, good play by Exeter. They got the overload down that right-hand side. The ball that came in was dealt with brilliantly by Wes Burns. That's good play by an attacking midfield player to deal with that in his own penalty area.
The dream start for Ipswich Town, 1-0 up inside 10 minutes. You know who with the goal if you're just joining us. Another one. Chaplin goes level with Johnson Clark Harris. 25 league goals this season. As on the far side, Exeter slip it around. It was Alan Brazil, the last player in 1982 to score this many goals in a season, albeit obviously at a higher level, but a tremendous achievement for somebody that tells me he's not a striker in particular. Caprice with a ball into the Town area. Good defending from Wolfenden, heading it out this near side for a throw-in to the visitors, who are, for what it's worth, 14th in the table. Came up automatically last season from League Two. Exeter down the left. Caprice doesn't fancy crossing on his left boot, gives it back to Hartridge. In comes his ball to the Town area, guided away by Wolfenden, touched down by Aimson, the captain, to his right, and Sweeney. Now it's Chowke in midfield. Mitchell slips a pass to the left-hand Caprice. Exeter have reacted well to going behind, certainly haven't crumbled in this atmosphere, as Clark takes the ball off the toes of Caprice. It's out for another Exeter throw outside the Ipswich area.
Yeah, it is a good response, but when they were trying to put that ball in from the left-hand side, they refused the first one, put the second one in, but they only had 2 players in our penalty area against about 5, so the odds were that they weren't going to score.
Exeter throw, Hartridge to take it. Town 1-0 up, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. A few balloons, obviously blue and white, floating around inside a packed Portman Road. Referees just doing Bit of work inside the Ipswich town area. Having a word with one or two. Now he's telling Hartridge to get a move on. Town fans clapping their side, leading 1-0. Hartridge with a long throw, headed up by Wolfen, and still work to be done in there. Nodded down by Hurst, back defending. Exeter do well to Caprice overlapping Mitchell into the middle, saved by Walton. This has been very, very good from Exeter since they went a goal behind. They've now won a corner kick.
Yeah, good play between Caprice and Mitchell there. They've actually threatened down this left-hand side just before.
Mitchell pulls this corner kick back. Town was sleeping on the left-hand side. Kite gives it back to Mitchell. Little prodded ball to Key. Now then Kite knocks it. They got completely wrong contact. It's still alive inside the town area. Not for long, battered away off the left boot of Davis, as far as Chowkey with his pink socks pulled up over his knees. On that right touchline, Borge. Huge vote of confidence for the 17-year-old. His first league start. Maybe Gary Caldwell fancies him, and why not test the lad in this atmosphere? Hartridge goes back to Woods, beaten by that thunderous effort from Connor Chaplin after 8 and a bit minutes. Ideal start from Ipswich Town's perspective. Ball out far side. We'll obviously let you know when there are goals in the games involving the likes of Plymouth and Sheffield Wednesday, but Town for the moment top of the live table, starting off the day 1 point behind Plymouth. There is Davis, just skewing the ball out far side for a throw to Exeter. Even Stevens really since the goal went in. Exeter have done well so far. Ball over the top for them. It's going to have too much on it for Key, who is highly regarded. Josh Key, it wouldn't be a big surprise if he were the next player to move to a higher level from St James's Park. He's got a heavily bandaged right wrist at the moment, as I said earlier on. Certainly not a striker, but needs must at the moment in the absence of Nombe, Brown, and to a lesser extent, because he's back on the bench today, Stansfield's also been out injured. Really clipping Exeter's wings. Town are going up. There's the chant. Well, there certainly are things stay as they are.
Ideally, you wouldn't want the opposition to respond like this to your opening goal, but in many respects it might be good for Town because there's a few sort of fresh players in the Exeter side, and if they start getting a little bit overconfident, start sort of probing forward positions a little bit too much, I can see us hitting them on the break, you know, with the quality that we've got.
Walton trying to go over the top, headed away by the back line of Exeter. Morsey cushions it to Burns, who lets it run to Clark. Clark wants to take on his mate Mitchell. Mitchell just has to hack it out. He's tumbling backwards. It's Ipswich Town ball. Could even be a free kick, perhaps, rather than a throw-in under the shade of the Magnus stand. Yes, it is. Morsey looks to be standing over this one. Hurst's up there. Yet to see him really involved in the game. In and around the D, you've got Luongo and Broadhead. Chaplin obviously in an attacking position, and the two centre-halves are up there as well. So Town have thrown plenty of players forward for this free kick after 15 minutes. Ipswich lead 1-0. Woods and the Exeter goal sorting things out. In comes Morsey's free kick, headed away to Caprice. Caprice then lashes it off his right boot. Borges after the ball. Walton's way out of his area. And the former Plymouth man launches it forward high. Hurst battling for it. Hurst brings it down for Broadhead. Edge the area, gives it to Hurst. Tries to play the 1-2, cleared away by Exeter. As far as Clark. Clark gives it to Morsey. A little touch inside the central area of the Exeter half. Wolfenden, 1-0 Town. Plays the ball to his left-hand side. And Burgess. Now Luongo. Yet to taste defeat as an Ipswich Town player. 12 wins and 2 draws for the Australian. Astonishing. Luongo goes up to Hurst. Tries to get the ball back to Luongo. Given away by Exeter. Hurst inside the box gives it to Luongo. Bursting forward. Luongo! 2-0 Ipswich! The dream is being realised. What a goal from the Australian. What an impact he's had since returning to the club in January. It's all going Ipswich Town's way. 16 minutes on the clock, and they already have a 2-goal advantage.
Well, Luongo and Broadhead were a little bit fortunate to come out with the ball there, but they were persistent. And then when Broadhead just lays it into the path of Luongo, he has one touch, and then his finish is a thumping finish with his left foot. A very, very good goal in the end. A little bit fortunate to start with them bang, it's in the back of the net. 2-0 at such an early stage. You know, you've got to be thinking there can only be one outcome.
I talked about Chaplin being a shoo-in for player of the season. If there's such a thing as half-season awards, Luongo would have a very good chance of challenging Connor for that particular award. I'd say that is sensational. Played 14 ahead of today, 12 wins and 2 draws. And he's been far from a passenger as well. He's been a key cog in this Ipswich Town side. And that was a terrific second goal of the season from his perspective. And Ipswich Town sitting pretty. And I mean, they were 7-1 odds on to win this game ahead of this afternoon. I think Exeter was something like 16-1 against. Those odds have stretched even further as Walton gets the ball on the edge of his area. Burgess just shielded it away from Coley, and the fans chanting, the Town are going up. Correct, I think. Here is Morsey giving the ball back to Walton, and it is great that Town have got early goals in this game. Clark on his chest, one-way traffic. Clark playing it around the back, and Burns get in there. Burns inside the area, it's just taken away from him. So a good battle with Caprice on that occasion. Ipswich Town have won their first corner kick.
That was brilliant play by the 2 right-sided players, Harry Clark and Wes Burns. Harry Clark in charge of the ball, and Wes Burns making a superb run sort of beyond his marker, and the pass from Harry Clark was terrific, as good as it could have been. Unfortunately, the Wes Burns couldn't get there, but he's won a corner kick. Great play by the 2 right-siders.
Kieran McKenna watching on, his side leading 2-0. Davis with this corner kick, punched away by Woods. For me, could have caught that. Luongo, who got the second goal, the flick header back to Clark. Luongo saying yesterday how much he'd like to stay at Town beyond the summer. Fabulous ball from Clark to the right-hand side, Davis. Back it goes to Burns. Burns bends it into the box, head it away. Stand up if you're going up. There's the chant inside Portman Road. Morsey knocks the ball into the box. As I have to elevate myself out of my seat, because everyone, man, woman and child in front of me, is standing up, believing that this is their season, this is their day.
Well, this has got the makings of some afternoon, it really has. I mean, this has been absolutely perfect start, and the crowd are going to be really, you know, on their toes all game. You know, they're going to be chanting all the time. You know, it's going to be really good stuff.
Key can't get anything on the ball. Morsey, as ever, ruling the roost in midfield. He's shaking off that early knock. Here is Clark. How'd he love to score this afternoon? Just overhits that pass and caught Burns rather flat-footed. It's out near side. So Chaplin and Luongo will be joining us in the 20th minute of this game. Where have you been? But anyway, you've missed 2 goals from Ipswich Town's perspective. 2 very, very good goals as well. And that's without the likes of Hurst really getting into the game. Broad had 2. Exeter have been all right. But Ipswich Town have done what Ipswich Town under Kieran McKenna over the last couple of months do. They've put away chances and are on top. Graham.
Sheffield Wednesday ahead at Shrewsbury, still Plymouth 0, Burton 0.
Here is Clark going back to Walton inside his 6-yard area. Holds on to the ball, draws in Key, and then left-footed, plays it to the halfway line where Sweeney controls it. Now on this left-hand side, it's Hartridge who has the ball. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday could easily finish this season on 96 points and looking more and more likely to only be in the playoffs. Crazy consistency levels between these 3 sides, but of course Barnsley not a million miles behind. It's not like there's a massive gap between 3rd and 4th. Oh, ball from Woods, that's surely a corner kick. Not given. Town have the ball, looked very sloppy and hesitant from the keeper. Chaplin into the box, looking for Hurst. Flag goes up, I think, against Ipswich Town on this occasion, but I thought just before that Town should have had a corner.
Yeah, I think that was a corner. You could see sort of green grass between the white line and the goalkeeper's foot there. I mean, it's definitely, I don't know what the linesman was doing there, but does it matter?
Maybe just feeling a bit sorry for Exeter City. Their fans obviously silenced. They must have come here fearing the worst. And bizarrely trying to do Plymouth, their fierce rivals down in the southwest, a massive favour by beating Ipswich Town this afternoon. Well, they've let them down so far. Here is Morsey to Luongo. Luongo, lovely ball down the left-hand side to Broadhead. Broadhead has open grass. He gets into the box. Town looking for a 3rd goal, and it's there! Oh, today just gets better and better and better. 22 minutes played in the Portman Road sunshine. and it's 3-0 to Ipswich Town. George Hurst with a tap-in, and Ipswich Town are on their way to promotion.
Well, they were all fighting for that one because Broadhead has gone free down the left touchline. He comes up the byline, and then a beautiful ball with the outside of his right foot just was gift wrapped for anybody that just wanted to touch it in. George was there, George Hurst was there, Wes Burns was there. It was George Hurst who got there first, tapped it over the line. It's his goal, but again, well done, Nathan Broadhead. Wonderful player.
Like we said, it might be nip and tuck, might have to be patient for the first goal. Might be 0-0, and none of that. Not with this Ipswich Town team. Goals after 8, 16 and 22. Ipswich Town well on top against Exeter City as a blue flare goes off to our left-hand side in the lower tier of the North Stand. One-way traffic. Beautiful play from Luongo, and then particularly Broadhead. And then, of course, a third member of that January arrivals quartet, Hurst, on hand to take his tally to 7, level with Broadhead. 14 goals from those two, and a fair few assists from Broadhead. Morsey playing it over the top. Hurst's going to go after this. He's barely had a touch of the ball really in this game, through no fault of his own, Hurst, but that was a simple tap-in over the line as Wolfenden heads the ball square to Davis.
What a perfect start this is for everybody connected with the club, whether you're supporting, whether you're off-field management, or whether you're on-field players. This is perfect, it really is. Takes away any of the anxiety, any of the tension. Just get on and enjoy the afternoon. That's what everybody will be thinking now.
Text from Alex Matthew, they think it's all over. It is now. Here come Ipswich Town again. Davis into the centre. Burns to make it 4. He's lashed at it. So like the vast majority of us, Alex believes that it's done and dusted. Town 3-0 up live on BBC Radio Suffolk. It's not going to end 3-0 though, as Woods clears the ball away from Burns, as Luongo then heads the ball against Borges. Wolfenden on his thigh, controls it, and then just pushes it back to Walton in front of a bouncing lower tier of the North Stand. Great scenes as the smell of that smoke bomb kind of drifts around to our nostrils high up in the Magnus stand here at Portman Road. What an occasion this is.
The fans are going to go home more tired than the players, I think. They're going to have some aches and pains in the morning.
Brilliant to see as well. Just so many years of disappointment and misery, just apathy as well. The general mood, the feeling around Portman Road and everything connected to Ipswich Town couldn't be further from that nowadays. The black cloud is well and truly gone. As at the back, Hartridge sees Exeter win a free kick, actually. Hurst just being overly physical on Sweeney. As again, it's stand up if you're going out.
Well, I think we'll only be commentating on the left-hand side of the game, really, because the fans are hell-bent on standing up and enjoying the afternoon, but let them get on with it.
Mitchell goes back to Aimson. On the right-hand side, it is Sweeney playing the ball up towards Key, getting no joy out of Burgess. He would be another contender for player of the half-season. In fact, he's almost an unsung hero for the entire campaign when he's been called upon, Burgess. Maybe doesn't grab the headlines or get talked about so much, but maybe his type. I'm not sure there's a better centre-half at this level at the moment. Morsey to Clark. Clark goes back to Wolfenden. Of course, this promotion will mean that bit extra, particularly to Wolfenden, who's Ipswich through and through, but also Clark, a Suffolk boy who came through at Portman Road. Walton in the D, gives it to Wolfenden, who's played more games for Ipswich Town at League One level than anyone else, Luke Wolfenden. Now Clark looking for Hurst, who made it 3-0. Poor from Hartridge, here come Town. Broadhead to Chaplin, might be a chance for Burns inside the box, he goes down. What's the referee doing here? Penalty to Town. It's one-way traffic, it's extraordinary.
Wonderful stuff. The ball that put Connor Chaplin or Wes Burns in there, it was terrific. Great play, very patient at the back. It looks as if we're going to get caught with the ball, but we're not going to, and then all of a sudden that little bit of acceleration with the ball and with the players, and we're in the penalty area and it's a penalty. So absolutely wonderful play again.
Nathan Broadhead scored one recently and missed one recently. This is dreamland for Ipswich Town. 27 minutes played at a sun-drenched Portman Road. They're already 3-0 up against Exeter City and coasting. They're heading towards the championship without any doubt whatsoever. It's Broadhead against Woods. It's 4-0 Ipswich Town. Utterly extraordinary from this superb group of players.
Wonderful stuff, it really is, and it's a great penalty again. I love them when they go in the top half of the goal. Years ago they used to say hard and low, but that's gone since goalkeepers started to guess which way the penalty was going to go. So the top half has got the best future. That one is well into the top half. Great strike, great result, great day so far.
Chaplin, Luongo, Hurst and Broadhead 4-0 up after 28 minutes. What a way to round off their season. A final season at League One level for arduous years. This overall being game number 173 at this level for Ipswich Town, and a rather shell-shocked Exeter playing it around at the back. I bet a few Plymouth fans would be cursing, thinking that their nearest, fiercest rivals have thrown the towel in. Well, there hasn't been a great deal they could do against Ipswich Town in this kind of mood. Wednesday ahead, Plymouth drawing, Ipswich Town winning, and undoubtedly heading back to the second tier. On the far side, Exeter have it, and I was right when I said I didn't see it staying 3-0, and I certainly don't see it staying 4-0 either. This Ipswich Town side senses blood. They're going to be after goals 5, 6, 7 in this game. We had a 6-0 here against Charlton not that long ago. Certainly believe they can top that this afternoon. There are 3 or 4 people, I hope they've just been downstairs for some refreshments, and they haven't missed the first 29 minutes of this game, just making their way towards their seats. I've seen a few people on social media flying in from the likes of New York. I saw somebody the other day. People will be making treks from all 4 corners of the UK, but other places around the globe as well as New York. There's a foul on Clark. It's probably worth saying, I understand the 3 Lions are here today watching this part of Ipswich Town's ownership group. Brett Johnson, Mark Detmer and Burke Bakai have all flown in for this match. And will be as delighted as anyone at Town, leading by 4-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk. None of us really believed it would be this kind of scoreline after half an hour. I think we all believed that Town would win this game, but beyond our wildest dreams.
But you would never have believed it would be so relaxing and
no,
sort of casual and enjoyable, you know, without all the negative thoughts of long gone.
This is not the Ipswich Town way at all. Free kick. But it's an absolute pleasure to watch to Exeter inside their half of the field. Town top of the live table. This will become a 13th win in 14 for Ipswich Town, as Exeter pass it around at the back, scared stiff of conceding a 5th goal before half-time. Oh, Hurst almost robbed Aimson. He was dwelling on the ball. Broadhead has robbed Aimson. He has players in the centre. Broadhead along the dead ball line, needs support, or does. He's held on to it. He's got away from his man. Brilliant from Broadhead. Inside the box goes to the dead ball line, but then just runs out of grass. It's out behind. Still just the 4.
Yeah, this is a difficult afternoon for the Exeter players. It really is. They sort of must have come here knowing it was going to be difficult, but you know, they also thought, well, if we can play a little bit, we could possibly enjoy the afternoon, but this is going to be a long afternoon for them. That sort of situation there where Nathan Broadhead has taken it off the Exeter player, that is the type of thing that might happen right the way through the afternoon.
Previously finished 10th, 9th and 11th at this level. Ipswich Town never really had a sniff of playoffs. They've had good spells particularly at the start of a couple of seasons, but never been able to reach this level of consistency in the final third of a campaign up until now. And the fact they've only lost 4 games so far is tremendous. The only one blip here being Lincoln's surprise victory, but this will be an 8th consecutive win at this level. Oh, superb footwork from Luongo. Magnificent from him. Then he plays it out to the left-hand side and Broadhead. Those two have really got into this game. Broadhead under the giant screen. In comes his cross, headed up but not away by Sweeney. Hurst battling for the ball, bouncing around in there. 2 players go for the same ball, and Chaplin makes it 5-0. No one dreamt of this last night. What a crazy afternoon in the sunshine at Portman Road. The goals are flying in. Home fans just cannot believe what they are seeing. They are seeing Kieran McKenna's men storm their way into the championship. Connor Chaplin makes it 5-0, and we still have 12 minutes of the first half to go.
Well, I've always been led to believe that the right-hand side of town is pretty good, but this afternoon the left-hand side is, just going like a dream. Leif Davis, Massimo Luongo and Nathan Broadhead. They're just weaving patterns down that left touchline, and then they're actually coming up the byline with the ball. They're absolutely destroying Exeter down that side. It's incredible, and well, you've never seen anything like this. I would imagine the American owners would think this is the norm. Score lines like this are the norm, but they're going to have to believe you don't get many like this.
No, I can put them right on that one for a start. 1 goal for 30 for the season for Connor Chaplin. He's holding on a walk, he's 36. He's not going to get that, is he? 12 to go in this first half. Just incredible. I just have to keep looking at the scoreboard off to my left-hand side. It was never meant to be as straightforward as this. 5-0. Ipswich Town lead Exeter City. There's a break in play because Exeter have Hartridge down off to our right-hand side. So Chaplin with 2 goals, and 1 for Hurst, 1 for Luongo, and the penalty from Broadhead's perspective, a 9th penalty kick of the season for Ipswich Town. They have managed to miss 3 of them, but he didn't take any prisoners. Very different animal when he's set up from 12 yards at Portman Road, Nathan Broadhead. So that's what his 8th goal of the season. Hurst 1 behind him. And I know we've said it a few times, Mick, but the impact of those 4 January signings has been extraordinary, hasn't it? They came into what was a very good squad and a very good position, but they've just elevated this group to a different level, haven't they?
Yeah, it's not just the quality and the terrific sort of selection of the 4 to come in, but the timing of it was perfect as well, because the group just around Christmas time was becoming stale. They were going off the boil, they were losing form, and those 4 coming in the month of January was absolutely perfect timing. It was the right 4, the timing was good, and we had to be as patient as the manager, if you like, just to make sure that we allowed them time to get bedded in. If you take George Hurst as an example, he never really hit the ground running. He needed time. He was given time, and he's joined the other 3 slowly but surely. Harry Clark had a blinding first game. Massimo Luongo had a blinding first game, and they just slowly but surely. Nathan Broadhead, we saw him. He was slow, but you could see the quality he had. But once the quartet got going, that was it. We were sort of really going to sort of threaten the top of the table.
Play back underway. Hartridge has gone off. On has come grounds. I think Graham has goal news.
Hey, Barnsley 1 up at MK Dons. Wednesday still lead at Shrewsbury. Still Plymouth 0, Burton 0. 100 goals, 100 points, anyone?
Yeah, every chance of it. And maybe 30 for Chaplin. We'll keep an eye on whether Johnson Clark-Harris has scored for Peterborough. But now Connor has the golden boot at this level. Tremendous run of form. And again, the Town are going up. The overriding chant at Portman Road. They certainly are, and in some style as well. Woods to the left-hand side here is Grant, very experienced player, not football at championship level with Middlesbrough and Birmingham. Clark and Wolfenden between them closing the door in Exeter's face off to our left-hand side, not giving them a sniff of an opportunity. Remember, they had one opportunity and a half a chance as well in the aftermath of the first goal. They reacted really well, Exeter, but I mean, at the moment they're just out there fearing the absolute worst.
Yeah, Christian Walton's actually made his save, so
Yeah.
you know he's added to the performance as well. So well done, Christian Walton. We don't want you to see you making any more saves, but you've made the crucial one at the right time. But this is all about the outfield players. It really is. They've just slowly but surely. They didn't start particularly well. Started very scrappily, but they've got themselves going.
Exeter playing it around at the back. Now it's Sweeney. Forward to the forehead of Burgess, little header down to Luongo, who's been terrific in midfield. Exeter just don't know quite what to do with themselves out there, fearing the absolute worst. Once the blue machine gets into full flight, I mean 5-0 before half-time's bad enough. 6. Oh, here is Grounds playing on that left of the back three. Oh, Chaplin fancied a little nibble at that. Hurst's now going to close down Aimson, experienced centre half, fairly recent arrival, Will Aimson. So likes of Plymouth and Bolton in the past. He's just smacked that ball out far side for a throw in to Leif Davis. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Ipswich Town cruising with a 5-0 advantage in this game. There must be so many fans shaking their heads around League One, refreshing their phones at other grounds, just talking about how good this Ipswich Town team is. Here is Walton on the penalty spot. Everything has just clicked. It's all come together in recent times. Relentless. They've been so focused. They're so hard running. Their fitness level is extraordinary. They've got goals. They've got clean sheets. So well drilled and well coached by Kieran McKenna and co. Here is Burgess standing at the back with the ball. A break for the injury to Hartridge, just kind of taking a bit of momentum out of the game. Wolfenden goes long, nice hang up in the air from Burns, chested down by Chaplin. Chaplin to the D, has support to his left-hand side, gives the ball to Davis inside the area. In comes his cross, it's headed away by Key, back defending for a corner to Town. We still have 6.5 minutes of this half to go. Yeah,
Connor Chaplin running towards the penalty area. He's working it towards his left side. He's wanting to see a little bit of the goal so he can have a little pop. That didn't sort of materialise, and then Leif Davis has appeared down the left-hand side. Simple ball out to him. Good cross in. We win a corner from it, but super quick play on the break.
6 minutes to go in this breathless first half. Town lead 5-0, that's right, 5-0. They've got a corner kick. Davis back to Morsey. Infield to Luongo. Luongo looks up, just pushes the ball square to Clark. Home crowd desperate to see him shoot. Out to the right-hand side, he's given it to Davis. Back towards Luongo. First time low cross from him towards Chaplin. Broadhead recycles it. Morsey from outside the area dinks it in towards Wolfenden with a free header. Flag stayed down, it looped over the bar.
Yeah, difficult actually, because it's just Morsey's just scooped the ball up, you know, off the ground, and you know, when it arrives to Luke Wolfenden, absolutely no pace on the ball whatsoever. So you've not only got to get direction, you've actually got to apply the pace on the ball as well. So that's not easy. So not really sort of expecting a goal. It looked a good chance, but it's difficult to score off a ball like that.
5 minutes to go until half time. 5-0 Ipswich Town lead Exeter. Incredible. Clark gives the ball back towards Wolfenden, talking a bit about that interview pre-match, but just how much it would mean to him. He got quite emotional the other night chatting to him at Oakwell after that game, and also very funny as ever. Here he is. Nice touch. Embarrasses Coley, who just crumbled at his feet and glided away from him. Forward from Clark towards Burns, battling in the left back area against Caprice, then winning the ball out. It goes for a throw to Exeter City. Decent battle between Burns and Caprice.
Yeah, that was an angry old Wes Burns there. You know, he didn't like the challenge from his marker, so he made sure that he got his marker slightly back. He played the ball first, and then a lovely little follow through just to bring the marker down.
The League Cup in August '98, the last time Exeter were here. That was a 5-1 defeat on that occasion. I think they might take 5-1 this afternoon, the way things are going at the moment. to win the second half 1-0. Might be a sixth goal in this first half for Town. Broadhead, edge of the area, giving it to Leif Davis. Just miscontrolled it, bounced up off his knee, and that allowed Aimson to get the clearance out on the far side. Alex Matthew amongst the goal scorers. The last time Exeter were here for that League Cup tie. And Alex will be alongside me on the Fylde coast a week tomorrow. We're on air from 11 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock for Town's trip to Fleetwood, and they will already be promoted, but will be going for the title as well. Plymouth can't win the title today, not with Ipswich Town doing this, they can't. Morsey to Broadhead, Broadhead edge of the area, back it goes to Morsey. Now Clark sets himself, one thing on his mind, actually that shot almost turned into a pass for Hurst. Had he stretched out his left foot, he would have diverted it into the net.
Harry Clark wants a first goal, and had it have been 0-0, he wouldn't have tried that, believe you me, because that really wasn't on to take a shot from where he was. But if you're 5-0 up, nearing half-time, then why not try and get your first goal if you can?
Well, he's the only one of the 4 January signings that hasn't scored in this game, Clark. We've got 2.5 minutes of the first half to go, plus a little bit more for the numerous goal celebrations and the injury to poor old Alex Hartridge. An afternoon for him to forget as a visiting centre-half. 5 goals conceded, then off with an injury. Here is Chaplin, of course, looking for another hat-trick. Wolfenden brings it down, but gives it away to Mitchell. Mitchell into the path of Borge, gliding away from Luongo far side. Then he's held up, so he has to go back, the 17-year-old. Here's Mitchell in central midfield. 10 blue shirts behind the ball. They get it out to the right. Exeter. Now it's with Mitchell. Back to Sweeney on the halfway line. Exeter will be delighted if they can see out the rest of this first half without conceding again. Here's Grounds up towards Coley, who dives over the ball. The referee says nothing wrong with the challenge. Morsey to Chaplin. Chaplin tries to get it forward to Burns, but just slipped as he tried to play it forward. Wolfenden's going to get on this ball ahead of Coley. Doesn't take any chances. And it goes into the crowd just down to our left. Sam Morsey having a word with Wolfenden, giving the thumbs up as Caprice gets ready to take this throw in. Well, Ipswich Town far from being overawed by the occasional reception they receive from supporters. It's just been very much business as usual. They've taken it in their stride. They've gone out there and played the game rather than the occasion. Those kind of things that one or two might have been worried about. Broadhead intercepts. The ball goes back to the halfway line. Plymouth are ahead. So Town still second in the live table. So the top 3 all ahead, as I thought they might be this afternoon, it has to be said. Here is Grounds going back towards Aimson. Now he's goalkeeper Woods. A couple of balloons on the pitch off to our right-hand side. Town seemingly happy to let Exeter have possession. It's way inside their half. And then Exeter trying to get ambitious. It's terribly miscued from the back by Grounds. And it's going to be a throw-in that Clark will take for Ipswich Town.
Yeah, it's going to be a long old afternoon, isn't it? We're not even at half-time yet, and the game is pretty much over. And it's awful when you're, a member of the opposition, and this is the type of thing that's happening to you. It's very difficult to keep going.
Town building through the middle. Morsey to Hurst. Hurst on first time. Burns is going to go after this. Woods is quickly out to the edge of his area. Very experienced goalkeeper. Former Manchester United player Gary Woods. 3 minutes of added on time to be played at the end of this first half. Here's Grounds, just coming off the left corner of the Exeter box. Chauke gets it from Mitchell. Could have gone wrong between those two. Morsey just out-muscles Mitchell as he's going for the ball. It's back with Grounds. Grounds up towards Coley, chested down by Wolfenden, then into midfield, but given away by Wolfenden. Chauke's first touch wasn't the best, but there's nobody right behind him to embarrass him. So Exeter get back on the ball, wide on the right-hand side. Exeter have it with that Kite. Kind of playing out of position, Kite. It's tended to be at central midfielder, but he's definitely playing that kind of right wing-back role this afternoon. Gary Caldwell's tinkered with his usual system. One or two members of this team, clearly something saw in Ipswich Town on Tuesday night, forced his hand. Here is Key dropping off the front line. Back it goes to Exeter, playing it along the edge of their 18-yard area. 2 minutes of the added on 3 to go. Championship-bound Ipswich Town leading by 5-0. A couple for Chaplin, Broadhead with a penalty, Hurst with a tap-in, Luongo with a fine finish from an acute angle. Morsey wins the ball, or rather it's given away by Borge. He's shown a bit of an experience. Morsey looks all around him. Coley has a little run towards Morsey. Morsey goes back to Wolfenden, who stands on the ball with the studs of his right boot, just playing at walking pace. Final 90 seconds of this first half. Could not have gone better for Ipswich Town. The ball's off grounds, throw in between the two managers underneath us. Clark is going to take for Ipswich Town. Final minutes of the first half. Hurst with a header down, gives it to Burns. Back the ball goes to Chaplin. Surely Town would love to sign George Hurst this summer. Chaplin spreads play across the far side. Leif Davis takes on his left thigh, rolls it down the line to Luongo underneath the Exeter fans. Luongo with a nice little Cruyff turn, gets away from Key, gives it to Broadhead. Lovely play from Luongo. Back to Morsey. Town have got 40 seconds to score a 6th goal before half-time. Here is Clark. Plays a low ball into the box, reaches Broadhead. First time hit from him. Might drop to Hurst, headed away by the last defender, Aimson. Could easily have opened up for number 6. I think Exeter are going to get away with 5-0 at half-time. The ball's out underneath us.
Yeah, there was every chance that ricochet was going to fall nicely there for George Hurst, but that's wishing a little bit too much on poor old Exeter.
Final 10 seconds of the first half. Just wait for the reaction at half-time live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Wolfenden up over the top of Coley. Free kick down below us for the foul on Luke Wolfenden. Not in a hurry to stand up. Gary Caldwell just having a word with the 4th official. Town on halfway. There's going to be an almighty roar in the next couple of seconds. There is half-time. What a scoreline. Ipswich Town lead Exeter City by 5-0. That's how to be promoted. Well, Mick Mills, I don't think we expected this, did we, at half-time?
No, it's gone absolutely perfect, really, isn't it? You know, I thought that they forced us into quite a sloppy start, and we looked as if we were sort of going to take a while to get into the game. Our passing wasn't there, our touch wasn't there. All the things you look for at the very start of the game, you know, it wasn't there. It's a load of crosses, not ticks, you know. And then all of a sudden, with the very first time we got a passing going, we went from the right-hand side with some nice short passing that worked the ball right over to the left-hand side. There was no sort of progress possible down the left, so back we came to probably go all the way back to the right-hand side. But then all of a sudden there was an opportunity when it got to the central area to go straight, to go up to Connor Chaplin, and from there we opened the scoring. And so, you know, from that moment onwards, you know, everything was absolutely perfect. What has really sort of amazed me, I kept looking at the stats, you know, when we were 5-0 in front, and I'm thinking surely this is not updating correctly, because it's actually finished in that half 51% possession Exeter, 49 Town. And the shots at goal for a long time, right up to sort of close on 40 minutes, were only 5 shots by Town, 5 goals. So it was amazing, really. We were sort of like just hitting Exeter just whenever we sort of entered the penalty area almost, you know, and it's been the most perfect day, and the support has been fantastic. They've been alive, they've been on their feet. You know, they're not used to jumping up and down, and I tell you what, there's going to be some tight old calves and hamstrings when they get home tonight. There really will. So, you know, they've been alive, the crowd, the team have responded, the crowd have responded. It's a perfect day, and who would have ever believed you would be 5-0 up against anybody on such a crucial day?
Quite magnificent from Kieran McKenna's men. Breathtaking stuff in that first half. Hopefully more goals to come in the second period. We're getting greedy. Town lead Exeter by 5-0. They're being promoted this afternoon.
Yeah, I was just going to say, do you think they'll do it? But
Possibly. Let's just go defensive.
Quite confident. It just got a bit quiet towards the end of the first half. 13 minutes without a goal. So I do.
Dull, wasn't it?
I do wonder. Absolutely incredible stuff from Kieran McKenna's Ipswich Town. We'll be back with Brenna Woolley and Mick Mills for the second half on BBC Radio Suffolk. What a day. Let us know what you made of that. 81333 on text, 08000 321 on WhatsApp. Start your message with SFK. Do speak to us at full time if you can. You can by all means call us from the celebrations as well afterwards. 0800 141 2121 to book your place in the phone. And let me run you through the rest of today in League One so far. Plymouth got a goal just on the stroke of half-time through Niall Ennis, so they lead Burton 1-0. Sheffield Wednesday are 1-up away at Shrewsbury. Michael Smith on target in the 8th minute. Barnsley ahead at MK Dons through Herbie Kane. Bolton 1, Fleetwood 0. Derby trailing at home to Portsmouth 1-0, so a chance for Peterborough to get back into those playoff places if Derby lose, and they can get a goal against Bristol Rovers at London Road this afternoon, but it's goalless in that one. Wickham trailing at home to Cheltenham. Aidan Keener from the penalty spot. Lincoln, who are all set for a top 10 finish, are 1-up away at Morecambe. Charlton doing their bit to keep up with Lincoln, though. They lead Port Vale 1-0 through Tyrese Campbell. It's Forest Green 0, Oxford 1. Accrington 0, Cambridge 1 in a big match at the bottom. That would be a huge boost to Cambridge United's survival chances if they can win that one, and it could relegate Accrington this afternoon if other results don't go in their favour. In League 2 this afternoon, Colchester are on the road away at Doncaster. They trail 1-0. A few games in the Premier League today. The lunchtime kickoff ended Crystal Palace 4, West Ham United 3. It's Brentford 0, Nottingham Forest 1 at half-time, and Brighton are 4-0 up at home to Wolverhampton Wanderers. And a reminder, if you've just this second tuned in, Ipswich Town are 5-0 up at home to Exeter City. It will be Championship football next season. There will be a promotion party at full time. Let's hope the same can be said of AFC Sudbury. They're in playoff action this afternoon at home to Heybridge Swifts. We're with Nick Garnham at the Mel Group Stadium next.
We're just mates, yeah.
Yeah.
On BBC iPlayer.
So the unicycle?
Yeah.
Yours?
Yeah.
Brand new comedy.
How long have you been single?
A while.
A modern-day love story.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To, what's his name?
Who?
Fluffy Man.
Colin from Accounts. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
You with Matchday on BBC Radio Suffolk. It is Ipswich Town 5, Exeter City 0. Connor Chaplin opening the scoring on 8 minutes. Massimo Luongo, who you heard from ahead of kick-off, doubling the lead on 16. George Hurst making it 3-0 inside the opening 25. Nathan Broadhead next from the penalty spot. Connor Chaplin again with his 29th of the season just after half an hour's play. Wow, we'll bring you all those goals before we rejoin Brenna Woolley and Mick Mills on BBC Radio Suffolk for the second half. Let's go to AFC Sudbury. I mentioned they're in Isthmian North playoff final action this afternoon at home to Heybridge Swifts, and Nick Garnham is watching.
AFC Sudbury 0, Heybridge Swifts 0. And no goals to report here. What has been a very tight match, as you would expect so far. It's been a game of very few chances and certainly no clear-cut ones, with a match badly in need of a goal. The home team suffered a blow after just 11 minutes when Harrison Chatting limped off to be replaced by George Coughlin. The first chance of note went the way of Heybridge Swifts in the 29th minute when Sam Park, who netted the winner at Philipstone Walton United last Saturday, turned and let fly from around 30 yards, but his shot dipped just over the crossbar. 3 minutes later, Jake Turner won a crunching 50-50 tackle and tried his luck from around 30 yards, but Swifts keeper Tom Ray collected comfortably beneath the crossbar. Heybridge have had 3 players injured in unrelated incidents, and they too have had to make a substitution, with Ryan Boswell being replaced by Louis Arrowsmith. AFC Sudbury did have a half chance 4 minutes before half-time when Coughlin chipped the ball in behind the visitors' defence. Ollie Brown's cross was blocked, and it came out to Josh Stokes, who lashed his shot over the bar. Half-time at the Mel Group Stadium, it's AFC Sudbury 0, Heybridge Swifts 0.
Thank you, Nick. Let's get reaction now from last night's Suffolk Premier Cup final and a third consecutive Premier Cup triumph for Needham Market. They trailed at one stage against Stowmarket Town, but the scores were level at 3-3 after 90 minutes in Bury St Edmunds before Kevin Horlock's side won the deciding penalty shootout 6-5. What a spectacle for the supporters of both teams at Ram Meadow on the night.
Yeah, I imagine it was. It's certainly a lot better than last year's, which was a little bit tedious. Look, Stowe, we knew what we was up against. Stowe were coming here. It was massive for them. Obviously, our localist rivals, league below. No one give them a chance. We knew that we had to be at our best, and we probably wasn't, in all honesty. But they pose a threat. The front three of theirs are a real threat. They get at you. Obviously, you've got Ed Upson in behind them. The goals, from our point of view, were disappointing, if I'm honest, but they're all good finishes from them. So, yeah, we got over the line in the end. It was a must. We had to win tonight. It doesn't matter how. In 6 months' time, no one will look back, oh, you only won on penalties. It's about getting it won. I feel a bit sorry for Bradders. I know him well. Obviously, he come through our academy. He's a great lad. I did say to him then, he looked like he'd been watching me take penalties. He just got caught in two minds, didn't he? And obviously that's what can happen. So I do feel for him, but someone's got to be the villain, unfortunately, and I'm buzzing that we've got it.
You've been involved, I dare say, in a few finals over the years. Have been in many better than that one.
Do you know what? You can't enjoy it when you're actually involved in it. I can understand totally what you're saying in terms of it must have been a great game. Obviously, we went 1-up, they went 2-1 up, we went 3-2. It was a good cup final. Played, I must say, on a decent pitch as well, which was good tonight. And I imagine everyone's enjoyed the game, but obviously Needham fans have enjoyed it more because we're taking the trophy back with us.
Fair result over the 90 minutes?
I think so. They posed a threat, but I thought we dominated possession, really. When we went 1-0 up, I think there was a spell there where we should have really been more ruthless and turned the screw, which is something I keep saying that we've got to do. We tend to sort of take a backward step, and we obviously let them back in it, and then obviously free header 6 yards out, and then it give them a leg up. But I think overall, we were the better team, yeah, but they give it a right good go and pushed us right to the limit.
Obviously, you had a great FA Cup run, which we talked about before, disappointing league season, but you've ended the season with a trophy, which is always a nice way to finish off.
It's all about winning things, having silverware. Obviously, not many teams can say that. So to win it and get silverware is massive for our football club. I think that's 5 times we've won it now in our history. 3 years on the spin. We're always going to try and win this trophy. But we also know, look, the FA Cup was unbelievable. We want to do that again. It's doable. So we'll strive to do that. But my focus now is on the league. We were short. We were disappointing. We wasn't consistent enough. And we shouldn't have been in that position with the players I've got. We're way better than that. We've beat the top teams. Obviously, we're not lacing out of this. We've beat Tamworth home and away. We just got to find a bit of consistency. Obviously, we've got to try and add a few bodies as well. And we've already started trying to do that. So we can go and rest now, put our feet up after a long, at times, testing season with silverware, and refocus to come back stronger next year.
And try and win it for a 4th time?
100%. Look, I never look down on this trophy. It's massive for us. It's a good occasion. And we'll always go as strong as we can. Yes, we'll give youngsters a chance in terms of your Taylors and your Seths and your Ollie Frasers coming through and your Flynn. They can be exposed to this, but we're coming out. We're gunning every year to win this.
Kevin Horlock, the Needham market manager, with Nick Garnham after last night's Suffolk Premier Cup success over Stowmarket Town, the 3rd season running that the market men have lifted that particular trophy. Earlier today, the County FA announced that 5 further Suffolk County Cup finals are to be staged at Colchester United this season. So on Thursday, the 11th of May, the Primary Cup final between Gipping Nats and Coddenham. On Friday, the CNET Training Senior Cup final between Framlingham Town and AFC Sudbury Reserves. Also the Suffolk Junior Cup at Colchester on Monday, May 15. A day later, the Women's Cup final between Needham Market and Bungay Town. On Wednesday the 17th, the Under-18 Midweek Cup final. Tickets for all those matches go on sale next Friday. The hottest ticket in town is at Portman Road this afternoon. And, well, it's safe to say Ipswich Town are doing their bit with regards to wrapping up automatic promotion today. We're back with Brenner and Mick for the second half after this.
Morsey, good ball from the captain. Chaplin, edge of the box, trying to set himself. And what a goal! Connor Chaplin! Oh, what a start from Ipswich Town! Another blockbuster with his left foot, and he becomes the first Ipswich Town player for 41 years to score 28 goals in a season. We have liftoff. It's Ipswich Town 1, Exeter City 0. Luongo goes up to Hurst, tries to get the ball back to Luongo, given away by Exeter. Hurst inside the box gives it to Luongo, bursting forward, Luongo! 2-0 Ipswich! The dream is being realised! What a goal from the Australian! What an impact he's had since returning to the club in January. It's all going Ipswich Town's way. 16 minutes on the clock and they already have a 2-goal advantage. Luongo, lovely ball down the left-hand side to Broadhead. Broadhead has open grass, he gets into the box, Town looking for a third goal! And it's there! Oh, today just gets better and better and better. 22 minutes played in the Portman Road sunshine, and it's 3-0 to Ipswich Town. George Hurst with a tap-in, and Ipswich Town are on their way to promotion. Broadhead against Woods. It's 4-0 Ipswich Town. Utterly extraordinary from this superb group of players. Hurst battling for the ball, bouncing around in there. Two players go for the same ball, and Chaplin makes it 5-0. No one dreamt of this last night. What a crazy afternoon in the sunshine at Portman Road. The goals are flying in. Home fans just cannot believe what they are seeing. They are seeing Kieran McKenna's men storm their way into the championship. Connor Chaplin makes it 5-0, and we still have 12 minutes of the first half to go.
Yeah, that was just the first half, by the way. The second half to come on BBC Radio Suffolk. Full credit to the players, says Richard in Hessett, and McKenna, as the pressure's been immense from day one. A brilliant day. Bring on the Norwich. Gemma from Ipswich. I dreamt last night we'd win this match 7-0. Now I reckon I'm going to be way off. And can we have a shout out, please, says Clive, Kaz and all the Blues supporting in the sunshine, to those of us with transistor radios but no tickets in the park at the back of the ground. There is the shout out, and here's another one for Ipswich Town, who are going to be playing championship football, Brenna Woolley, next season. We're back in the second tier.
Yeah, bring on Norwich and co, and could be some big clubs tumbling out of the Premier League. I mean, Southampton, Everton, Leeds, Leicester, by no means safe. And the likes of Preston, 2 trips to Wales next season, Blackburn as well. It's a real step up for Ipswich Town next season, and we can now start to look forward to that. I think Marcus Harness is going to come on fairly soon. Just had a long chat to Kieran McKenna down below. It's probably first change, but for the moment it's the same 22 players that ended that first half. Exeter had to make a change at centre-half with Hartridge replaced by Grounds. But Town, I'll give you their team because we're not quite ready to get the second half underway. Walton, Clark, Wolfenden, Burgess, Davis, Morsey, Luongo, Burns, Chaplin, Broadhead and Hurst. On the bench, Halatki, Ladapo, Jackson, Edwards, Harness, Danassian and Ball play underway in this second half as Town in blue, white, blue play from right to left against the pink and black shirts, black shorts and pink socks of the visitors. Spare a thought for Exeter City. Rabbits in the headlights this afternoon, sadly for them. The wrong place at the wrong time. Coming across this Ipswich Town juggernaut, destined to just plough right through them and make absolutely certain they're moving from the third tier to the second, and they're certainly doing that. Mitchell to the right-hand side, and Caprice, who obviously likes this side of the pitch because he started down the left for Exeter in the first half. He stayed underneath us in the second half. He looks to be playing down the right, which is his more customary position. So a tweak from Gary Caldwell at half-time. When we get a break in play, I'll give you a run-through of their lineup. I don't think anybody's made a bit of a beeline for the train station at half-time in terms of their players. You couldn't have blamed them for wanting to do so, but they're still here for the second half, seeing if they can get something from this game, a consolation goal. Here is Caprice, arcing his back, throwing a ball into the Town area, headed away by Davis, cushioned down by Hurst, a little bit risky, might be a chance for Exeter, scooped up, and over the top, a little bit complacent from George Hurst. Sam Morsey's letting them know he's got to get his standards higher than that. Exeter then, they have Woods off to our left in green and goal. The back three of Sweeney, Ameson and now Grounds. Chowke holds in midfield. Then you've got Caprice, Borge, Kite and Mitchell up front, Key and Coley. On the bench, Blackman, Sparks, White, Scott, Cox and Stansfield. Beautiful afternoon here for football. Ball over the top from Chaplin to Burns. Burns is going to get goal side into the area. Lifted over the keeper! And you know what? That's number 6 for Ipswich Town. Burns dances in front of the North Stand, and Ipswich Town carry on in the second half where they left off in the first, and they're now battering Exeter City by 6-0. Utterly unbelievable.
Well, it was an excellent ball. I'm not quite sure who played the ball, but I was watching Wes Burns, who came towards the ball, spun to run his marker to go over the top. His marker tried to stay with him. It looked initially as if it was going to be a good race to the ball, but then all of a sudden Burns was starting to edge clear, and then once he got a little bit clear, he met the ball with the goalkeeper coming out. He lobs the goalkeeper absolutely perfectly, but it was a terrific sort of movement towards the ball, spin, wanted it over the top, and then he won the race and he executed it brilliantly. That was a terrific breakaway goal, it really was.
Oh, you poor people, so many missed goal number 6. Heading back now with their cups of tea and their bottles of pop down in front of us. They'll have heard the big roar, so they'll have known what that meant anyway. Amazing. Ipswich Town 6, Exeter City 0. This is how to get promoted. What nerves, what pressure, what level of expectation. Goodness me, they've lived up to their pre-match billing, Ipswich Town. What a present they're giving their supporters. Here at the back, Exeter have the ball. So they would have been hoping that Ipswich Town might have declared on 5. Well, no sign of that. As the ball's out far side, missed control from Mitchell. Gives Clark a throw in far side. Only 4 minutes gone in the second half. And this is a 3 o'clock kickoff. So no kickoff vary at this time of the season. It is midday a week tomorrow. So some fans hearing this 6-0 to Ipswich probably think we're in the last few minutes of a 2 o'clock kickoff or something unusual. Well, no, we've still got a long old way to go. Probably a good 45 minutes worth of football. Burns, he's got in the goal-scoring act. That's his 9th of the season. Decent return from him as well in his 2nd season at this level. Here is Burgess to Broadhead. 1 defeat in his last 33 League One games, Nathan Broadhead. Phenomenal record across 2 seasons at Sunderland and Ipswich Town. Back-to-back promotions for Broadhead and Ladapo, of course. Rotherham and Ipswich, Sunderland and Ipswich. Here's Clark to Morsey. He's gone up from this level in the past. Wolfenden, what an occasion for him. Clark goes infield to Burgess, enjoying his football more than ever. He was telling us recently, Cameron Burgess. Walton, so many clean sheets, almost a goal at Plymouth early on this season. Get to see a better goalkeeper at this level. And the former Plymouth man, he's got the ball in front of the Sir Alf Ramsey stand off to our right. Off to Davis near side, back to Burgess it goes. Of course, Kieran McKenna's thoughts post-match, once we can get to amongst the madness. And also we'll hopefully hear from a few Ipswich Town players as well. Here's Clark, open ground in front of him, opening his legs, striding forward, trying to play Burns in behind. Burns with a nudge in the back. Mitchell doesn't complain about the fact that Exeter have a free kick at the back. 6-0 Ipswich Town.
Yeah, super, really. And I just watching just earlier when, the Exeter players had the ball in sort of a defensive position and they were starting to go round the back 3 or the back 5, if you like, with the ball. And the indication from the Town players to come and press. And there was one player, I think it was Wes Burns, was a little bit slow out of the blocks, and players were getting onto him for it, and they're sort of 6-0 in front, so they're really sort of so professional at what they do.
Saturday the 13th of April 2019 when Town got relegated after a 1-1 draw here against Birmingham City. Paul Lambert in charge, of course. Next to Colin Quainer in that Ipswich Town team. Josh Emmanuel played in that side. James Collins part of that team. So many fans at that stage thought it would be a 1 season down, bounce straight back up. Hasn't panned out like that for Ipswich Town at all in these 3 seasons previous to this one. But now, no more EFL trophy, no more FA Cup in November. International breaks will be a regular occurrence. And as I say, the return of the East Anglian Derby next season, or certainly looks almost certain to be. Norwich Suffolk City, with their recent form, been playing the part in getting that fixture back on. Hurst, who's not seen a massive amount of the ball in this game, still got himself on the score sheet. He's now closing down his opposing 27. Oh, there's almost an own goal from Jonathan Grounds under pressure from Hurst. Just what Exeter City didn't need. That was a whisker away from 7-0 in the most embarrassing of circumstances.
Yeah, you didn't really want that to go in, to be quite honest, because that was really going to be quite embarrassing. Just sort of, they literally, between the defender and goalkeeper, absolutely froze. You know, they really did, and couldn't sort of get to make a decision, and it almost went inside the post, but it's gone for a corner anyway.
It's a beach ball on the field. Say no more. It's that kind of afternoon. That's why we're having to wait for this corner kick to be taken. I think it's going to blow back on before Davis does. It is. So our fans are enjoying themselves. Leif Davis is going to have to go and hand it to somebody, I think, on this near side. It's that kind of afternoon at Portman Road. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Never seen Town win 7-0. Here is Leif Davis with this corner kick, the king of the assists. It goes into the centre. Might be a chance for Luongo outside the box. Lifts it over his man, then plays it to the left-hand side. Terrific from the Australian. Davis, in comes his cross. Good ball yet again. Headed forward by Burns into the box. Cleared away by Aimson. Then it's with Borge. He's given it to Clark of Ipswich. Morsey into the centre circle. Town passing it around in the middle third. 9 minutes to go as Leif Davis goes back to Walton, his goalkeeper, looking for yet another clean sheet this afternoon. It would be his 13th in 15 games. The stats are frightening as far as Ipswich Town are concerned. Burns with a chest down, bursting forward as Chaplin just runs away from him. Then it pings off of him from Sweeney's attempted clearance. And out for a throw right back to Exeter. Have your say after this game. Have a chat to Graham and Mick on 0800 141 2121. Text 81333. Start your message with SFK. WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Lots to talk about. Your thoughts on the season in general. Your player of the year. How much you want the title next Sunday. Town are going to be heading to Fleetwood, hoping to win that game and hoping that Plymouth don't win when they go to Port Vale. And as we saw a few weeks ago, Port Vale can be a tough nut to crack, as can Fleetwood actually. I didn't fancy going there on the final day of the season, requiring something. He's had a good first season, Scott Brown, in that part of the world. Jack Marriott up top for them, as well as, of course, Toto Enciala still on the books. Corian Dabba's been there on loan, but clearly won't feature next week. Cracking atmosphere at Portman Road. Good feet from Luongo. Then he tries to win a 50-50. In those steps, Sweeney. Exeter in the centre of the park. Good play from Borge into the path of Mitchell, edge of the Ipswich area, inside the box. He shoots, might get another opportunity, and then a third one. Down goes Walton. The ball's out behind off an Exeter attacker. Goal kick to Ipswich Town.
Well, it opened up nicely for them. They had a sort of spare man down the outside, and then all of a sudden a path opened up to go direct for goal, and it was a definite possibility to get on the score sheet there, and it was a dangerous move by Exeter.
Of course, an entire generation can't remember 2000, the last time Ipswich Town got promoted. Will have to be 28, 29 perhaps minimum to remember the 4-2 win over Barnsley. It's 31 years, of course, since John Lyle's side got promoted, the last team to do so automatically. Last Ipswich Town team. It has been that long. And of course, Kieran McKenna, the 9th manager since George Burley to try to get this club promoted, the 3rd one at this level. Doesn't turn 37 till next month, Kieran. What an achievement for him. As the ball goes back to Woods. Woods is closed down by Hurst, who almost nicked the ball away from him. It's full of running as ever, George Hurst. 11 minutes gone in the second half. Burns is robbed, and then Clark leaves his foot in, although there's a bit of theatricality in the dive from the player on the far side. Then Burns and Clark have words with Grounds. Morsey gets in between Clark and Grounds. Clark gets a yellow card. A little bit daft from young Harry, it has to be said.
I think Harry will be coming off.
It will be at some point in the near future. There will be changes, as I said, just when Graham threw back to us. He was having a long chat to Marcus Harness, Kieran McKenna. I'd love to see him come on and get a goal, Marcus Harness. His last one was down at Exeter back in November, Well, hasn't really had many starts since then, just that one at Cheltenham when Broadhead was injured. Terrific from Luongo. Wow. What a signing! I've said it so many times, but he has been an unbelievable signing for Ipswich Town. I guess we didn't expect as much from him as Clark coming in from Arsenal. We knew Broadhead was coming from Everton in the Premier League. Hurst had got lots of goals for Portsmouth and had been at a Championship club on loan. Luongo coming back was probably the least heralded of the arrivals. Arguably as big an impact as any. Even if Kamara and Evans had been fully fit, he'd have still been playing games, I think. There's only George Edmondson missing training at the moment for Ipswich Town. They have had a good run in terms of no injuries the latter stages of this season. As the ball's out underneath us. 3 changes for Exeter are imminent. 6-0 they trail. Exeter have the ball with Sweeney closed down by Broadhead. Out it goes for a throw. Stansfield and Scott are strikers. Sparks is a wide player. That's their triple change on the way. Town have got 32 minutes to get a 7th goal. It's certainly going up with a bang. Long clip ball forward from Aimson, won by Burgess, as so many are like that. Borge trying to see off Luongo. He's done well, Borge. And then Kite is robbed. Kite's in the more central area than he was in the first half. They've gone back to a similar system to their last game, Exeter, when they lost to Sheffield Wednesday last Saturday. Only 2-1 that defeat. Exeter, nice play. Kite, little ball into the Ipswich area. Key, one-on-one with Wolfenden. Wolfenden gets a touch. Kite still has the ball. Back to goal in front of the Exeter supporters. Back it goes to Mitchell. Mitchell skips away from Chaplin. Good run from Mitchell, goes down inside the area. Appeals for a penalty kick. Free kick's being given, and he gets a yellow card for the dive, does Dimitri Mitchell.
Yeah, I think he did dive, so, you know, it's unfortunate he gets a yellow card on a day like this. But just before that all happened, I was looking at Sam Morse. He had gone in to sort of win the ball. He did win it, and there was like the ball was a bit of spillage, if you like. He couldn't do anything about the loose ball. But George Hurst was slow to respond to his attempt to win the ball, and Sam Morsey gave him a right sort of going over, you know, he really did, you know, at this sort of level of 6-0 up, and he's having a go at George Hurst because he wasn't alert to his tackle.
Coley goes off to be replaced by Scott. Exeter's first change of the second half. Jay Stansfield is about to come on. He's on loan from Fulham. Good player. I've liked what I've seen of him this season. He replaces the 17-year-old debutant at Borge. Stansfield will go up front. His father, Adam, who tragically died a couple of years ago, was a real hit at Exeter for many seasons. Jay's had a good season back in that part of the world. And the other changes, Mitchell, just been yellow carded. He's going to be replaced by Sparks, who has tended to play left wing back for Exeter. A little bit of a surprise to me that Sparks missed the start of this game. An hour played in Town's final home game of the season, and they lead Exeter 6-0. Wes Burns with the only second half goal so far. Free kick.
It's amazing how you sort of have long forgotten about all the other teams that have been in the promotion race. You know, we've sort of forgotten about sort of the likes of Bolton, Barnsley, Peterborough, and all those teams chasing the playoff places. Derby. We've even forgotten about Sheffield Wednesday about half an hour ago. You know, it's amazing, isn't it?
Gone to the far side. It's been all about what Ipswich Town have done. Nice play. Chaplin to Clark. Lovely first-time ball to Burns in full stride. Now inside the box. In it comes off the first defender. Burns gets it back. Morsey wants it in field. The captain has it. First-time clip cross from him over the top of Broadhead in the central area. Out of the box it comes to Wolfenden. Crowd wanting to shoot. Never really settled the ball for him. Morsey thought about playing it in. Burns on the right-hand side, one-on-one with Sparks, just on as a sub, left-footed cross from the Welshman towards the far post. Davis heads it down to Broadhead on his knee, then the overhead into the middle, headed out behind. Lovely improvisation from Broadhead. Corner kick, Ipswich.
Yeah, so much looseness about poor old Exeter there. The marker on Wes Burns just was worried about him. So much going down the outside. Wes Burns said, well, if you're not going to sort of play fair, I'll just come on the inside and clip it in with my left foot. And then there was this looseness on the back post with Leif Davis and Nathan Broadhead.
3-0 at Peterborough, 3-0 at Barnsley, 6-0 at home to Exeter. Ipswich Town have a corner kick in. It comes to the far post. Luongo knocks it in low, stabbed away as far as Chaplin for his hat-trick. Over the bar. That was a chance.
He's hopeless, Connor Chaplin. He can't finish.
And it
really
flew
can't.
over the bar.
Dear, oh dear, what a miss.
Chance for Chaplin. His head is bowed.
He never misses
that.
those chances. He seriously doesn't. That was an incredible chance.
Yeah, on his left side as well. Exeter trying to play it out from the back. Fair play to them. 17 and a half played in this second half. 5-0 at half-time, 6-0 now. Wolfenden to Morsey, up through the centre circle to Clark. He goes back to Burgess. Of course, Town will be very keen to keep this latest of many clean sheets. Burgess, lovely ball down the left channel to Hurst. He will get there and keep it in play in front of the north stand. He's then tripped from behind by Aimson. Free kick, which is definitely in a good position for Leif Davis, as Hurst glares at the north stand, asking them to offer some more encouragement to Ipswich Town, who are still after blood. They certainly haven't declared on 6. What an atmosphere at Portman Road. Leif Davis on this free kick. Town are greedy. They're after another goal. Davis standing over the set ball. In from Davis. Chaplin gets underneath this, and you're right, he's a poor finisher, Connor Chaplin. McMill's another one over the bar.
Yeah, he's lost the plot now. He used to be a good player.
Incredible what numbers from him this season. And he really has bought into Kieran McKenna's mindset of it being all about the next game. Such a level of professionalism from these players. Let's go back to Graham at 6-0.
Plymouth still 1-0 up against Burton. Sheffield Wednesday 2 up at Shrewsbury. Barnsley led at MK Dons. They now trail 3-1.
It's a third straight win for Wednesday if it stays like that. As I said earlier on, they could finish on 96 points and not make the top 2. Town lose possession. Chauke gives it back to Aimson, who stands on it, rolls it to his left-hand side and ground. Still no sign of movement from the Town bench, but it's going to be pretty soon with 19 gone in this second half. Kieran McKenna will want to give an extra 5 players a run out. Exeter on the break, wide left, Sparks, low ball into the Town area. There is Burgess to whack it up and out. One bounce. It's into the lower tier underneath the Exeter supporters on the far side of the field.
Yeah, he needed to do that. That was quite a dangerous situation, and you know, you're a centre half. It's on your right foot. Just, you know, put it into the east end.
28 years since Exeter last lost 6 games in a row, but that's what's happening here this afternoon. Can't even get a chance on goal there. Chaplin plays it out to Hurst. Hurst waited for the ball to come. In stepped an Exeter player. Now it's out for an Ipswich Town throw-in. Underneath those Exeter supporters, have to spare a thought for. Also spare a thought for the supporters that Ipswich Town have lost, sadly, in the last few years. So many people on social media in the build-up to this game saying that they'd love Dad to have been here this afternoon, or Mum would have enjoyed this, they'd have enjoyed the football that Kieran McKenna and this team are producing. Our thoughts with family and friends enjoying themselves here this afternoon, but no doubt many people thinking of people that they've lost in recent years who would have loved Peterborough and loved Barnsley and loved being a part of this and the aftermath, and would have been going to Fleetwood a week tomorrow. Team to do the town, the county proud. This Ipswich Town squad of 23. Clark to Morsey. Morsey lifts the ball back to Burgess. Burgess bundles it on its way to Davis. Little touch from him in field. Morsey then gives it away. Exeter on the right-hand side with Caprice trying to take on Davis. He's beaten him. Good play from Caprice. Excellent wing playing. Comes a very, very good cross to the centre spot where Harry Clark headed it away. Ipswich Town lose the ball. A little bit ragged at the moment, could maybe do with some freshness. Of course, they've had those 2 away trips, so much intensity to these recent games. And they've run their socks off in this, 66 minutes or so in centre field. Exeter have the ball. Now to underneath us, the shaven-headed Caprice. One touch is infield. He's a decent player, Jake Caprice. 3 years ago, arrived from Tranmere. Back he goes, but under pressure from Davis. The ball goes out of play for a throw-in. Town are about to make changes. Ladapo, Jackson and Edwards, at least, are about to come on. As Ladapo beyond 20 goals for the season now, as well as Chaplin. Burns is coming off. Jackson will replace him. We'll see Wes against his former club a week tomorrow, no doubt. Hurst, I would imagine, will be getting replaced by Ladapo. And then we'll have to see if it's Edwards, possibly for Broadhead. Standing ovation for Wes Burns, last season's Player of the Year. Had a very good second campaign at Portman Road. Connor Chaplin, his vote to succeed him, incidentally, with that trophy later on today. I say rounded off the scoring. Maybe he didn't. Maybe there'll be more goals in this for Tam, but he certainly got number 6. So Jackson on for Burns. Broadhead does look to be going off. Just the 1 goal for him this afternoon. He's replaced by Edwards. And Hurst is now applauding all 4 sides of Portman Road. Hopefully, this is not the last we've seen of George Hurst at Portman Road. I think we'd all love to see him sign a permanent deal in the summer, or worst case scenario, sign a season-long loan for life in the Championship. So 3 perhaps expected changes. Ladapo on the field, he's gone after this ball immediately, he's got on it, but then under pressure from grounds it bounces off him. And it's a goal kick to Exeter City. Still a quarter of this game to go.
Yeah, and they can enjoy themselves now. The 2 wide attackers have changed, the central lone striker has changed, and you know, you can bring on 3 better players on an occasion like this where there's lots of space out there. They're all quick players, they're all sort of risk takers, they all take a chance. You know, they might well add to the scoreline.
Exeter clear the ball up and over the top of Scott. Scottish striker, taller than Jay Stansfield playing alongside him. Clark's rather run into a cul-de-sac, just held up far side, throw into Ipswich Town, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Ipswich Town getting promoted with victory over Exeter City here this afternoon, leading by 6 goals to 0. Afterwards, 0800 141 2121 is the phone number to chat to Mick and Graham, or text 81333. So those messages SFK. WhatsApps are 08000 321 333. We'll hear from Kieran McKenna and amongst all the madness post-match as well, and a player or two. Luongo on the half-turn, on halfway, gives it to the left. Ladapo outside the Exeter box, coming in field, shooting to the near post, finds the side netting. Out for a goal kick. Incidentally, that's Ladapo's 52nd appearance of the season. He's made more appearances for Ipswich Town than any other player this season, Freddie Ladapo, which might surprise 1 or 2, and a healthy goals return as well with 20. The attendance, 29,334. Incredible 919 Exeter fans, but by far the highest attendance of the season, topping those that came to the Sheffield Wednesday game by almost 300. Now the Ipswich Town supporters are applauding the 919, which is a lovely touch. So many people looking towards the far right top corner of the cobbled stand as they applaud. Terrific attendance as Walton comes out from just underneath them, actually, clips the ball out far side for a throw-in. So no Devon derby for them next season, with Plymouth obviously going up as well with their scoreline this afternoon. Stand up if you're going up, as the chant at Portman Road. As Ipswich head the ball off the edge of their area. Clark to Chaplin. Chaplin stumbles over the ball. Luongo is there to keep it in blue possession. Chowke challenges him to throw to Ipswich in front of the cobbled stand. 71 minutes played exactly. Full match commentary of that Fleetwood game in a week's time, when Plymouth and Ipswich in their respective matches will be trying to seal the League One title. They'll be on 98 points and 97 points as things stand heading into that game. Ball to the right-hand side. Town on 99 league goals for the season. Jackson, little drag back, then bursts in field. Good play from the substitute to Chaplin. Back to goal, and the D goes down. No penalty, no one appealed, bar 1 or 2 supporters. Key to the halfway line. In steps Morsey. 100 goals from not quite 45 games. Town on 97 points as well. I know there were 1 or 2 fans at the start of the season backed 100 points and 100 goals. I'll be sweating. Nice summer holiday on the cards for 1 or 2 there. Chauke to Stansfield. Ball over the top for Stansfield to run onto. Cross will come Wolfenden. Wants to know where his goalkeeper is. He hadn't quite arrived, so Wolfenden digs out a clearance, which Jackson's going to run to get to. Stansfield's there first. Chauke for Exeter, trying to get into the town area. Blocked off by Luongo and Jackson. Then in steps Clark. Out for a rare Exeter corner.
Yeah, I suppose, you know, when you do make changes, it takes a little bit of time, you know, to adjust. But, you know, when you're 6-0 up, there's a casualness about the whole stadium at the moment.
Yeah, Ipswich Town cruising, coasting into Championship football once again. 17.5 minutes to play. Ipswich Town defending this Exeter City corner kick, only their second of the game. Stansfield back to Key. In comes his cross, headed away by Wolfenden. The ball about chin height in the centre circle. It is Caprice. To his right-hand side, making a run is Sweeney. Back is Ladapo defending. In comes the cross from Caprice, touched away by Clark. Chaplin gives it to Morsey. Chaplin's gone on a run. Morsey's held on to the ball. Is there anybody better at this level? Then he plays it over the top looking for Ladapo. Just too much pace on the ball from the captain. Caprice will see it out for a throw. Ladapo, one of the goal scorers for Town when they won 2-0 down at St James's Park earlier on in the season. Dominic Ball over a stretch and a bit of a sprint and jog underneath us. 6-0 to the Tractor Boys, the chant. This will obviously equal Town's best victory under Kieran McKenna. Done it twice this season, Northampton in the trophy and then Charlton in the league. Davis, an up and under ball into the Exeter box, headed away in the sunshine by Aimson. There's body language summed up Exeter's day, really. He's shielding his eyes from the sunshine. Difficult situation, he's just standing on the cusp of shadow. Now tangling with Ladapo as Davis gets ready for this throw. And Davis throws the ball into the box to Luongo. He carries it on so far, but then just outnumbered by Exeter players. Out from the back, Exeter player, but Morsey should win the ball against Scott, which he does. Gives it back to Wolfenden. Wolfenden with a drag back, finds Morsey. As calm as ever, Wolfenden. Morsey to Chaplin. Every pass being applauded by the majority of the 29,334. Morsey to Chaplin. Tries to turn it to his side, and Jackson. Chauke comes away with the ball, but he's caught by the stray leg of Chaplin. As Don Ball gets a big hug from Kieran McKenna. He's about to be the 4th change of the afternoon for Ipswich Town. Referee spotted that. So on will come Ball, 6th appearance since returning from injury, and he replaces Luongo, who's been exceptional. 13 wins and 2 draws from his 15 games for Ipswich Town, Massimo Luongo. Terrific stuff. Another one that we'd love to see back here next season playing Championship football. Short-term deal set to run out in the next 6 weeks or so. Here comes Ball for Chaplin. Still gets a chance to complete his second hat-trick within the space of a few weeks. Too many people leaving early from this game. One wouldn't have thought. 14.5 minutes to go, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. What a lovely afternoon for everyone connected to Ipswich Town. This one's been settled pretty much since the 22nd minute when it went 3-0. Town have doubled their money since then. Ball in the centre of the park. Jackson to Morsey. Morsey clips it to the left side, and Davis. Here is Kyle Edwards trying to go past his man, which he manages to do, then just runs out of pitch. Actually scored a goal at Wembley for Exeter once upon a time, Edwards, whilst on loan in the southwest. He certainly won't be doing any showboating or rubbing salt into the wound. He'll have a lot of respect for his former loan employers. Wolfenden to Burgess. Burgess forward to Luongo, to Ladapo, sorry. Ladapo on the ball, held up quite literally by Aimson. He's got a good grip, the Town number 9. Eventually Freddie goes down, looks a bit frustrated. Ipswich have the ball with Edwards. Typical quick feet, lovely close control from Edwards. Then goes back to Davis, final quarter of an hour. Town passing it around. The pass is being Olayed. Edwards up to the edge of the box, comes in field, runs away from him, wins it for Ladapo. Flag. The referee actually blows his whistle before the flag goes up. He's seen a foul. Free kick to Exeter.
Yeah, unlucky Carl Edwards there. He was so much part of that little quartet there that were working the ball very, very short, but very effectively, and then just missed out to the Exeter defender.
Davis to Chaplin. Chaplin was surrounded. Stansfield comes away with the ball, and over the top, it's overhit from the on-loan striker. 13 to go. Walton has the ball. Nice relaxed way of getting promoted. The Town player slipped. Stomp ball, just lost his footing. He's up though, thankfully. Harry Clark glides away from Stansfield. This is why he returned to Ipswich Town in January, to see his boyhood club over the line. Morsey back in the Championship, where he certainly belongs. Chaplin down the line to Jackson, who keeps the ball in. Ladapo wants an early ball. It's come in from Jackson, but well defended by Sweeney. Jackson did the right thing. Ladapo was after it, but credit the defender.
Yeah, good decision from Caden Jackson. There was only one in the box, that was Ladapo, but he was in a good position, so he was right to try and find him.
Clark shaped across the ball into the centre, gave it down the line to Jackson instead. Back the ball, finds ball round the corner to Morsey, shaped to cross, took Kite out of the ball again, gave it to Chaplin, who lost his footing. It hasn't quite worked out for Chaplin in this second half as such. Key marauding up to the halfway line, checks, gives it to Caprice, who pushes it beyond Davis, but right into the path of Burgess. He finds Davis, and then he goes in field to ball. Nice to see Davis and Chaplin named in the Team of the Season at the EFL Awards on Monday night. A couple of other ones at Town were nominated for manager and young player, went to the Plymouth pair, Stephen Schumacher and Bali Mumba. George Edmondson credited though for his excellent work in the community. Here is ball up towards Edwards. Two of the substitutes link up. Edwards first touch allowed Chowke to take the ball off of him. 11 to go in the Portman Road sunshine, and Town really have made hay this afternoon. Clark holding up Stansfield far side. He rolls it back to Chowke. Exeter with possession of the ball. Would be lovely to see Town get another goal in this last 11 minutes. Portman Road finds its voice again. Key down the right flank, in goes Burgess. Awesome defending yet again from the Australian. Up to the halfway, Ladapo with a dummy, but there was no one behind him in a blue shirt. He's apologising to one or two. Exeter. Good ball out between the lines to Key, and it goes back to Sweeney. Approaching the final 10 minutes of Ipswich Town's home season. Afterwards, 0800 141 2121. Have a chat to Mick Mills and Graham. Text 81333. Start those texts with SFK. Or 08000 321 333 is the WhatsApp number. Of course, get across BBC Suffolk social media channels for reaction to this, and just worth looking at some of the scenes before the game. Some lovely stuff out there. People covering this game from all sorts of different angles. Halatki coming on for Ipswich Town, although he might have to be held up. It's an interesting change. Leif Davis has gone down, injured, so that might make an alteration to Kieran McKenna's thinking. Hasn't completed that many 90 minutes, really, Leif Davis. Halatki, I noticed him warming up for a little while. Wolfenden's having a word with Christian Wolf, and he seems to be smiling, but it's interesting that Halatki might get some time at the end of this game. What do you make of that, Mick Mills?
No, I don't really sort of understand that one, really. It's not as if he's been sort of unlucky not to be in the team, or he's shared the duties with the goalkeeper. You know, he's not really been, he's only ever sort of stood duty on the bench, really. So, I mean, I don't know, it's a strange one.
Walton at the moment doesn't seem to be moving. I guess Town are waiting to see what's happening with Leif Davis. Let's go back to Graham for goal news.
Plymouth still ahead. Michael Smith with a hat-trick for Sheffield Wednesday. They're 3 up at Shrewsbury. Quite a game at Stadium MK. Barnsley trailing 4-3. Bolton 2 up at home to Fleetwood. Derby have equalised against Portsmouth 1-1. So they're still holding on to that final playoff spot. At the other end of the table, Cambridge now 2 up at Accrington. As things stand, Accrington and Morecambe are going down this afternoon.
Halatki, I think, is still going to be coming on for Ipswich Town. Just another announcement on the tannoy, reminding supporters to stay off the field of play at the end of the game. Fascinating change from Ipswich Town's perspective. Christian Walton, a round of applause. Off he comes. Magnificent season he's had. And Václav Halatki comes on for what I'm guessing might well be his last appearance for Ipswich Town, potentially. Seems to be moving okay, Walton. Interesting. Which obviously says that Leif Davis is going to be okay. By my reckoning, that's the 5-10 changes. Harness and Danassian weren't going to run out this afternoon. So on comes Václav Halatki for 7.5 minutes at the end of this match.
Yeah, I thought Janoy Danassian would have been the last one, you know, but maybe his ankle's not absolutely 100%. But if you're looking at players that have sort of been on duty this season a fair amount and deserve part of this occasion, then you would have picked Janoy Danassian really to bring, you know, for Harry Clark to come off and then Janoy to go on and enjoy just 10 minutes maybe.
Ball for Ipswich Town, back to Burgess. These are the 11 players that are going to see Ipswich Town over the line as they guarantee a return to the Championship. 7 minutes to go. Clark over the top. The Dapper's going to give chase. Cross comes Sweeney again to deny him a sight of goal. Cleared by Sparks towards Chow Kay. Ball's out of play for a throw into Exeter. Someone from Southampton, Chow Kay. Of course, they could be opponents of Ipswich Town next season. Looking more and more likely that Ipswich Town will swap Portsmouth for Southampton. The Saints have been at the bottom of the Premier League for quite some time. And as I said earlier on, there's some big clubs flirting with relegation from the top flight. Could be coming here next season. Everton still down there. Leicester, Leeds in all sorts of trouble. The Premier League got a few more weeks to go. Town with a couple of trips to Wales probably next season after that win for Cardiff against Rotherham the other night. They're likely to still be in the second tier. Swansea will be. Edwards down the left-hand side. 6 minutes to go. Kieran McKenna asked to wave to the supporters. He's obliged. Got a healthy roar there after Kieran give us a wave. Throw in for Ipswich Town. Kieran McKenna's thoughts to come, hopefully before 6 o'clock. If not, we'll get them out later on in terms of social media, and they will be on the breakfast show tomorrow morning. Extensive coverage of this on BBC Radio Suffolk tomorrow. Ladapo with a chest trap to ball, edge of the Exeter box. Exeter can't get the ball fully away. His ball's back on it for Ipswich. Morsey in midfield, held up by Chowke. Does a decent job for Exeter, the Southampton man. There's some noise at full time here at Portman Road. 5 minutes plus added on time to go. 5-0 down at half-time. Gary Caldwell's probably fairly happy with this scoreline. His side's only conceded 1 goal after the break. Chaplin trying to turn the ball on to Jackson. Sparks for Exeter. Playing it out to the left-hand side now. Aimson towards Scott. Exeter now have it inside their half with Grounds, the relatively early change for them in the first half. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport, Ipswich Town cruising to a huge victory which gets them promoted. Sparks for Exeter, ball into the Ipswich area, dealt with by the chest of Davis. In the D next to him is Ball. Ball picks out a good pass to Edwards. Edwards to the halfway line, running through midfield, out to the right-hand side. He's carved a ball off the outside of his right foot. Jackson will keep it in play. He's got some space. He's now outside the Exeter box. Cuts infield. Caden Jackson inside the area. Tepid pass infield. Didn't really know what to do in the end, Jackson. Whether to pass, cross or shoot. And it was a nothing touch off his right boot. Key leading the charge for Exeter, running forward, getting in towards the Ipswich area, not quite getting there. And Halatki goes down at the feet of Scott as a few stewards and police officers start to surround Portman Road. It's like the old days.
Yes.
Numerous yellow and orange jackets. Town are almost there. Listen to Portman Road. Starved of success for so long, Ipswich Town supporters. Good times are back at the moment. Clark with a header to Chaplin. Will head to Fleetwood next week, looking for his 30th goal of the season if he doesn't get it in the closing stages here. Exeter taking a bit of a risk inside their half of the field. Stansfield keeps it in, then wants to take on Burgess. Tangles with Burgess. Now the referee wants a word with the Town centre half. I think he's going to give him a yellow card. Town's first of the afternoon. Actually, their disciplinary record's been very good this season, Ipswich Town. Exeter hammered out of sight here this afternoon. On the halfway line with Grounds. Town just way too good, as they are for pretty much everybody at this level at the moment. 12 goals scored now in these last 3 games. Chowke, in steps Wolfenden. Can Town get another goal? Edwards gives it back to Burgess. We're 2 minutes away from being told how much added on time there is going to be. Davis gives it back to Morsey. Morsey floats it to Chaplin. Chaplin loses out in a battle with Grounds. On halfway it's Kite. Sweeney for Exeter to Stansfield. Gets away from Morsey, who's trying to drag him down. In steps Ball. Davis then gives it to Morsey. Morsey to Ball. Town play their way out of trouble. Nice passing from Ipswich Town. Now they've got into space in midfield. Exeter had committed players forward. Can Town break through them? Here is Chaplin on the ball. This could be ominous for Exeter. Chaplin on his hat-trick. Into the D! Oh, he hit it left-footed. It was blocked well by Aimson. It was travelling, and Woods would have been struggling.
Yeah, he sort of fancied that. You could see when he was making the run, he could see the space just opening up. He saw it was all on his left side, which suited him, and you just expected him to get his shot away there.
It really would have rounded things off wonderfully well. Halatki's never let Town down. It's good to see him getting these rare league minutes. Town heading towards a 13th clean sheet in 15. A joy to watch Ipswich Town live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Minutes from promotion. Kieran McKenna shakes hands already with Gary Caldwell. Nice touch. Kieran knows that he'll have other things on his mind at full-time. Class all over Kieran McKenna. Gary Caldwell will accept that. They've had a good natter and a good embrace down below us. Kieran realises that he's going to be dragged off here, there and everywhere at full time and wants to play a full part in these celebrations. Gary Caldwell asking how much time is going to be added on to the 4th official. Hopefully not too many, he'll be thinking. At the moment, not a great deal happening in this game, it has to be said. 50-50 in terms of possession. Exeter have it at the moment, though. Ladapo's going to go and close down Woods. Out to Sweeney near side. The board's about to tell us how much added on time there is going to be. As Scott's trying to lead the charge for Exeter. 3 minutes, like there was at the end of the first half. Exeter down the right hand with Stansfield. Trying to get into the Ipswich Town area. Still Jay Stansfield. Decent run from him. Trying to find a colleague. Exeter won't do anything with that, though. Jackson rolls it out to Chaplin. Then to Ladapo. Ipswich Town coming forward down this left-hand side. 2.5 minutes from their promotion to the Championship being confirmed. Stansfield's over the top of Morsey. Morsey wins the ball back, then out to the left it goes directly from the Egyptian.
Yeah, the captain lost the ball, but then he had the hunger still, you know, in sort of the last couple of minutes to try and win the ball back. He should have actually gone out to the right-hand side and not through the middle.
Just listen to Portman Road. Exeter down the left-hand side, underneath their 900 fans. In comes across the Town area, goes right through the Ipswich box, and Leif Davis hooks it out near side for a throw to Exeter. Ooh, there's a bit of silliness involving Davis and Stansfield. Nice little character, Stansfield. I like what I've seen of him this season. The referee's in between the two of them, and Stansfield's trying to work Davis up once again. 90 seconds of the added on 3 minutes to go We've known that Town were going up since probably 3:25 this afternoon, but it's about to be confirmed. In comes the ball to the Ipswich area, over the top of Halatki and his net. Goal kick Ipswich Town as Harry Clark screams at the lower tier of the Sir Ralph Ramsey stand. So Boyd, so driven to come back here and get success. Luke Wolfen will stand over the ball, talking to me in the week about why he stayed with Ipswich Town when he had opportunities to go elsewhere. It was the dream of getting his boyhood team promoted. Well, he's done it. Burgess at the back. Most people standing up inside Portman Road. Final 30 seconds to go. Ipswich Town's 4 years at this level coming to an end. Exeter on the right-hand side with Stansfield. Across comes Davis. The ball's out of sight because the supporters standing up in front of us. The referee checks his watch. Sam Morsey looks at him, the captain. What a season he's had. Connor Chaplin, just the 29 goals from him. He's also having a word with the referee, wondering how much longer. Well, the answer is no longer. Ipswich Town are promoted to the Championship. 4 long years at League One level are over, and they have done it in style. A 6-0 victory over Exeter City, and there is a pitch invasion at Portman Road. Kieran McKenna, the youngest manager in the Football League, in his first full season as a manager, has got Ipswich Town promoted, following in the footsteps of Mick O'Brien, Scott Duncan, Alf Ramsey, Bill McGarry, John Lyle and George Burley 23 years ago. It's Ipswich Town's first automatic promotion since 1992, and boy, have they done it in style. This is a 13th win in 14 matches, a 13th clean sheet in 15. They are simply too good for any other side at this level. It means so much to these Ipswich Town supporters. So many years of misery, so much disappointment, so much apathy. Smiles are on faces. The big dark cloud has disappeared from Portman Road at this moment in time, this Saturday afternoon in late April 2023. There is no happier club on the planet than Ipswich Town. Long gone is the most miserable club in Britain tag, and boy, does Kieran McKenna and his players deserve everything that comes their way. An absolute joy to watch. Every kick has been live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport, and it has just quite simply been an honour and a privilege to watch this side. The Championship, talk of that possibly for another day, but watch out with some investment in the summer into this squad. The best young manager around. You wouldn't swap Kieran McKenna for anyone. And the owners, of course, game changers by name and game changers by nature. Ipswich Town have beaten Exeter City by 6-0. Championship football will be here in August. You can understand these scenes, why the fans are on. There's blue smoke drifting around Portman Road, but they were told to stay off the pitch ahead of the game. They're in amongst the players down there, the Ipswich Town supporters.
I think all the players have got sort of to the dressing room in safety, so that's the main thing, you know, because these are difficult times. You expect the fans to come on, but you also, fortunately, the game finished when every player was very close to the tunnel, so they've got off in safety. Now what you want is for the people that have enjoyed coming onto the pitch just to sort of go back off the ground, and then the players will come out and they can sort of go round and enjoy the lap of honour and let everybody applaud them around the pitch. They thoroughly deserve it. I was listening to what you had to say. The team has been absolutely superb this season. The manager has been even better. It's been a terrific effort, both on and off the pitch. It's been great to watch the team play. I've really enjoyed the football that Kieran McKenna has got them playing. There's a lot of talent in the team. There's a lot of desire in the team. lot of professionalism in the team, and they deserve everything they've got this season. I do hope they finish as champions, but the main target has been achieved. They're up, and they deserve to be up.
An awful lot of supporters, the sensible ones, if you like, that have stayed in the stands are now starting to get a bit aggravated by those that could not control their emotions and who have come onto the field. They're now starting to be dispersed and heading back towards the stands. And as Mick says, the players were ushered down the tunnel fairly quickly. Not that anyone would have come to any harm, but it was just the sensible thing to do. And of course, that's why Kieran McKenna, with a few moments ago, he realised what might well happen. And that's why he had his word with Gary Caldwell. But the players are going to come out of the tunnel and do a lap of appreciation. And I mean, they must be absolutely bouncing down there. That must be such a noisy home dressing room. It has to be said. From speaking to these players, to get to know a fair few of them, they're a great bunch of characters as well, who really do deserve this. They love representing this club. They absolutely adore the manager and all that he's brought. Such a level of professionalism to Playford Road in recent times. An elite coach, of course, coming in as an unknown in the middle of December, 16th of December 2021, when Ipswich Town plucked him from relative obscurity and gave Kieran McKenna his first opportunity to be the main man. And what an achievement this is for him. And of course, Town will head to Fleetwood next week, and if they avoid defeat in that game, 4 losses all season will be their lowest number in any season in the professional era. And of course, Town will head there, hoping that they can beat Fleetwood, and that Plymouth will lose away to Port Vale. So not only will Ipswich Town be promoted, they will also go up as champions. And the pitch now finally cleared of supporters. We've got half a dozen of the staff on the pitch at the moment, and the fans, well, the vast majority of the 919 have disappeared. That's understandably so. Long haul trip back down to the southwest for those Exeter City supporters. But the 28,500 plus that were here supporting Ipswich Town, the vast majority have stayed in place. And it's nice to see. Out come the boards, branded with numerous logos that Ipswich Town will have their photographs taken behind, and there'll no doubt be fireworks and ticker tape here at Portman Road. I mean, the early goals, just briefly talking about the game itself, Mick, whilst we're up for the players to come out, I mean, that really set the tone, didn't it? There was, first 3 goals inside, 22 minutes? Yeah, the early goals set the tone for Ipswich Town.
Yeah, without question, because they actually it was very sort of, not a nervous start, but it was sort of untidy, the start of the game. And then when Town got their very first move going, it was a good move from right to left, back to the centre, and they scored from it. And then after that, it was just showboating stuff, really. And the amazing thing was that you sort of got to something like 40 minutes, we're 5-0 in front, and you look at the stats. The first stat that surprised you, that it was actually 50-50 possession-wise, and the other stat that was surprising was we had only had 5 shots and scored 5 times. So it was almost the most perfect sort of first half that you could possibly get, that we just scored for fun, and it just set everything up. I think everybody probably in an ideal world would have liked a 7th to have gone in, so that you've got more than 1 in the second half, but really an outstanding performance, and no real nerves shown by the players, and they've done the job. They started this season off superbly. They really did. I mean, Kieran got them going. We were top of the table for a while. The first half of the season looked really good, but we just sort of went off the boil around Christmas time, and then the owners and the chief executive, they started to play their part. They added to the team. They saw the need at halfway to just introduce something more to the team. They did it. The 4 new players came in, and then slowly but surely They got things going again, and we were back on the road. But it's in the last part that's been truly magnificent, you know, to sort of have all those clean sheets, all those victories, all in a row, and then to face Peterborough away and Barnsley away, which could have completely messed everything up, but we didn't mess that up. We get 6 points, we get 6 goals and clean sheet.
Here come the Ipswich Town players to a rapturous reception. Wes Burns, the first one to do a little dance as he came out of the tunnel with a Welsh flag wrapped around his waist. One or two of them have got their kids down there with them. George Hurst standing next to Marcus Harness. Leif Davis, what a debut season for him in this part of the world. He's got an official EFL flag draped around his neck as he takes on board some energy drink or other. Václav Hladký, a surprise substitute at the end. He got a few minutes worth of league action right at the death. Mark Ashton's out there as well, saluting the Magnus stand on this near side of the field. What a bit of recruitment it was from him to bring in Kieran McKenna, put his faith in a completely untried, as was 34-year-old Ulsterman. So emotional here. Harry Clark's ran and jumped on Crazy, the mascot, far side. As I said during commentary, it means that bit extra to I don't know, a Harry Clark or a Luke Wolfen, and Cameron Humphreys, a 19-year-old who's played more than 20 league games this season, of course, came through the Ipswich Town Academy as well. Out comes Nathan Broadhead. Wow, back-to-back promotions for him. He's filming the scenes inside Portman Road, like Wes Burns, who's also got a Welsh flag draped around his waist. One defeat in 34 League One games now for Nathan Broadhead, including in the playoffs last season for Sunderland. Playoffs not required at Ipswich Town this time around, though. Connor Chapman now visible. 29 goals for him. Red-hot favourite to be named as player of the season at some point in the next half an hour or so, and that will be on this field. That's the way they're doing it this season, so supporters will be hanging around for that presentation. Panucci Kamara, very little has been seen of him since joining Ipswich Town, but he's fit at the moment, playing some under-21s football, and will be hoping to make an impact in the summer and then play a part when it comes to championship football. What about the title next Sunday, Mick? How much would you like to see Ipswich Town actually win some silverware? How much does that matter?
Well, we've got what we really want. We've got promotion, but it is nice to go up as champions, because in time you will be remembered more if you are the champions rather than if you're in second place. And I don't know whether, you know, we have the 3 stars on our shirts. Whenever the shirts are sort of made, those 3 stars stay there, and that's actually, I believe, for winning things. So it would be nice if we can now add another one, you know, to that. So that would be nice. But no, as far as I'm concerned, the players have been terrific. How they have got themselves into sort of second place from about 6-7 weeks ago is absolutely incredible. So, you know, to be perfectly honest, if we don't go up as champions, it doesn't matter to me. I think the players would like to do it. That's what I think. And they are capable, certainly, of getting the result at Fleetwood. It'd just be interesting, you know, to see what Plymouth do. So we'll have to wait and see. But this is the target, what we've achieved today, promotion back into the championship. And for me, this is just the first step of where we want to go. You know, we want to go to the Premier League, and there's no reason why we shouldn't. I think we've got the club in place now. You know, we've got the people in the right positions. We've got the right ownership. We've got the right chief executive, who's very, very ambitious, and he knows what he's doing. We've certainly got the right manager. There's no question about that. And you know, we're certainly adding to the playing staff, and I can really see us. Maybe it might be too much to ask for us to get a second promotion next year, but I certainly believe that we'll be in the Premier League in not too distant future.
Well, you look at where Sunderland are at the moment in the playoff places at the level above, and I've said a few times in recent weeks, this has been the best League One side that I've seen over the course of the last 4 seasons. Still no sign of Kieran McKenna just yet, being typically understated. There's a few more players come out of the tunnel. Cameron Burgess, I can see down there. Sam Morsey has just crouched down to have a photo taken. We will, of course, hear from Kieran as soon as possible, once the madness subsides somewhat. Kieran actually is now out of the tunnel, I think, with his family, and he's getting a wonderful reception from the lower tier of the Sir Ralph Ramsey stand. And just on Kieran in particular, I mean, goodness me, the job he's done, Mick, and the potential he has as a 36-year-old manager is frightening, isn't it?
Well, he's one of a number of people of his type that are coming into the game now. They're people that have tried to make their way as players. They've been unfortunate where, because of injury, they haven't been able to pursue a career as a player, and they've, instead of just giving up on the whole thing, they have gone into coaching. They've learnt the art of coaching at a very young age. They've got a head start on people that are players to their 35, and they are reaping the benefits. They are sort of changing the way of playing. They're very astute, they're very, very clever. Tactically, they're as sound as a pound. But it's not just that about Kieran McKenna. I like the other side of him. I like when he's interviewed. I like the way he speaks. I like the way he talks. I like his opinions. You know, there's everything about him which has been good. And what I like about him, he seems to have the ability to control and to lead a massive group of players. Normally, managers only like to handle something like 18 or 20 first-team players. That's difficult enough, but what he's done is he's gone sort of beyond 24, 27 players, and he's kept them all happy. And I'm told he's absolutely brilliant on the training ground as well. I've never seen him work, but everybody says he is absolutely outstanding. And I think that's what the club needed at the time that Paul Cook finished at the club and Kieran came in. We needed a coach. We needed somebody who was clever on the training ground. And Mark Ashton went and got one, and he's possibly has actually brought the best he could have done into the club.
Just starting a lap of honour, incidentally. Everybody's now out of the tunnel as the players, members of staff and some of their family and kids are out there as well, just soaking up these scenes and this marvellous atmosphere. And emotionally, what does this mean to you, Mick? This is your club. You've been with me there for the bad times in recent seasons and watched some poor football. We've seen apathy. We've had tetchy managers. We've had managers falling out with supporters. There's been a disconnect between the club and the fan base. What does this afternoon mean to you watching these scenes and just in general?
Well, I've just seen, it's funny, it's been a sort of slow process. I've seen the possibility of this type of day coming maybe sort of about 15, 16 months ago. I just felt that once you sort of, I can remember we had a meeting, ex-players were invited to a dinner, and we had a presentation done by the chairman, Mike O'Leary. Mark Ashton did a presentation and the manager did a presentation. And I knew on that night, the way those three guys spoke and what they said and where they wanted to take the club, I knew something was going to happen. And it was just a slow process that this club, this ground, has slowly but surely come to life. And it's come back to what I can only remember it as, you know, and this is just the start of it. You know, those three guys have worked tremendously hard behind the scenes. The players have taken over the baton and have been absolutely superb. To play the type of football they've played is a real credit to them. And that's been part of building this atmosphere. It's not just winning games, gaining promotion, but we've done it in style. And I just think this club is on the move. And it's going back to where it should be.
Of course, we'll hear from Kieran McKenna as soon as we possibly can. He's out there with his family at the moment. I remember seems a bit like this when Ipswich Town rounded off the season at Turf Moor a few years ago, and Burnley was celebrating promotion to the Premier League. At least possibly the first time under Sean Dyche. I remember being amongst those scenes and just thinking, will I ever experience this at Portman Road? When are Ipswich Town ever going to get themselves promoted? And we are now witnessing that and enjoying it as well. Harry Clark's taking a run and dive in amongst the lower tier of the Sir Bobby Robson stand. It might take a while for him to be dragged back out. He's been leading the fist pumps of late, hasn't he? I think he's now about to resurface. So what an afternoon for Ipswich Town. The stuff that dreams are made of. It's been magical here this afternoon to watch Ipswich Town cruise to this victory over Exeter City, dealing with the nerves, the weight of expectation, which was certainly there, having gone to Peterborough and won 3-0, the astonishing victory at Barnsley by the same number of goals on Tuesday. Given this run of results they'd taken into this game against Exeter, mid-table going nowhere, having lost 5 in a row, everyone expected Ipswich Town to win this, but they had to go out there and do it, and they certainly have. They've given a performance of which they should be phenomenally proud. We'll get reaction as soon as we possibly can. Ipswich Town have beaten Exeter City by 6-0. They're waving goodbye to League One. It's all about the Championship from early August.
It certainly is. Match day this season, and in particular this afternoon, has been the story of a club transformed and ready for the next step. We hope you've enjoyed it on BBC Radio Suffolk. We're on air till 6. Let us know your thoughts on Town 6, Exeter 0. What a way to seal promotion back to the Championship. Dom in Thurston says, amazing game, and our next goal, if it comes at Fleetwood, will be the 100th of the season. Mike in Kesgrave, get in there. Ipswich Town, you beauty. Owen J, Town played like they were in the Premier League. Just one more game, then we are home and dry. Bob in Newmarket, absolutely buzzing. So proud of this wonderful team, the manager, coaching staff, wonderful friends. Big shout out to Game Changer 20 and Mark Ashton. It's been a team effort all season. We are in the Championship. Celebration time. I love this club so much. Now to catch Plymouth for the title. It will go to the last day. It certainly will. Run you through elsewhere in League One today shortly. Mary and Chantry. Hi, Mary. What a fantastic win. We're back where we belong. The good old days. So happy. This one from John, a Town supporter living in Norfolk. He says, this is so sweet. Amazing atmosphere. Supported Ipswich since 1970s and many ups and downs. This era is now the beginning of something big. Trevor says, congratulations to everyone. The players, Kieran McKenna, us long-suffering fans, but special thanks to Game Changer. Without them, this would never have happened. Stephen Woodbridge says, well, I said all season long Town would get automatic promotion. Thank you, Steve. We'll have more from McMill shortly. We'll hope to hear from Kieran McKenna and perhaps a couple of Town players as well before we leave you at 6. This from Richard in Hesset. Full credit to the players and Kieran McKenna as the pressure has been immense from day one. A brilliant day. Bring on the Norwich. Nice one here from Adam in Bury St Edmunds. Brenner mentions kind of, that the heartache for supporters over the last 20-odd years or so. Adam says, so happy for all involved, but feels so happy for Brenner, the voice of Ipswich Town, who has suffered for all of us over the years. His passion for the team shines through. He's seen every minute of every game over the last 20-plus years, and that's a lot of bad football. So happy that he's finally able to commentate on a Town side on the up. Long may it continue. Adam, really appreciate your text. Jay in Bury says, just fabulous. Ipswich Town Football Club, the good times are back. What a game, what a club. Just great. It certainly is. 81333 if you'd like to text us. 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp. Start your messages with SFK. By all means, give us a call as well. Your thoughts on today, particularly if you were there, those scenes ahead of kickoff. What can Town do in the Championship? We can talk about that now without people saying, don't talk about it yet. We're not quite over the line. Well, we are. 0800 141 2121. Back with Mick Mills at Portman Road shortly. Let me run you through the rest of League One today. Plymouth won again, I'm afraid, spoiling the party a little bit. Niall Ennis with the only goal of the game as they beat Burton by 1-0. A Michael Smith hat-trick for Sheffield Wednesday. They've won 3-0 at Shrewsbury, but it's playoffs at best for Wednesday this afternoon, for the rest of the season, because they cannot secure automatic promotion now because of Town's win and Plymouth's win. Plymouth, 98 points, plays Ipswich Town on 97. Sheffield Wednesday, 93 points. They could end on 96, but they will not repeat, not be going up automatically. What a game at Stadium MK. Barnsley led away at MK Dons. They were 4-1 down with just 20 minutes left to play, but scored a couple of goals in quick succession. James Norwood, then a brace from Max Waters. That one's ended 4-4. Bolton have booked their place in the playoffs. They've beaten Fleetwood 2-0 this afternoon. Derby 1, Portsmouth 1. Derby stay in that final playoff place, but it will go to the wire. It's between them and Peterborough for who finishes 6th. Advantage Derby at the moment. Peterborough also held today 0-0 by Bristol Rovers. Wycombe dropped to 9th. They lost 3-0 at home to Cheltenham this afternoon. I mentioned Morecambe were going down at one stage, but what a turnaround in their match at home to Lincoln this afternoon. Lincoln led 2-0. Morecambe have come back to win that one 3-2. They're level on points with MK Dons just outside the relegation zone. So it's going to go to the wire for a few teams with regards to relegation on the final day. Charlton have beaten Port Vale 3-2. It's finished Forest Green 0, Oxford United 3. So Oxford are safe. Accrington are down, beaten 2-1 at home by Cambridge United this afternoon. Cambridge move up a place in the table to third bottom. They have 2 games still to play. They are 1 point from safety, so it's still on for the U's. But Accrington will be playing League 2 football next season with Forest Green and with Colchester United as well, who lost at 1-0 away at Doncaster Rovers today. In the Championship, run you through results. Bristol City 1, Burnley 2. Vincent Kompany's side, already champions, of course, march on. Coventry beaten Birmingham City 2-0. Hull 1, Swansea 1. Reading and Wigan also drawing 1-1. The big win for promoted Sheffield United. They've beaten Preston 4-1. Stoke 0, QPR 1. Sunderland 2, Watford 2. West Brom v Norwich to come from 5:30. Ipswich v Norwich to come next season. The East Anglian derbies are back. And the Premier League, 3 games today. Crystal Palace 4, West Ham United 3. Brentford have come from behind to beat Nottingham Forest by 2-1. And Brighton have absolutely smashed Wolves this afternoon 6-0, which was at the same scoreline in our full match commentary. Andy in Melton has texted in. What a result. What a team. What a manager. Norwich, here we come. Congratulations, Ipswich Town. Chris from Hellsworth, now for the icing on the cake. Let's get that trophy next weekend. We have the polish ready. Jonathan in Long Melford's called in. I'd like to wish all the best to the whole club. He's overjoyed with promotion, as thousands of you are. The lines are open, 0800 141 2121. Like we say, we hope to have further reaction from Portman Road before 6 o'clock. Just a quick check-in on AFC Sudbury, who are hoping to make it a double promotion party this evening. They're into the second period of extra time in their Isthmian North playoff final with Haybridge Swifts. The Yellows lead by a Jake Turner goal to 0. He scored it in the 98th minute. So AFC Sudbury 1, Haybridge Swifts 0, the latest score. If it stays like that, Rick Andrews' side will be promoted to the 3rd tier of non-league football. You're with Matchday on BBC Radio Suffolk. This is Graham Mack. It's just gone 5:20. This afternoon confirms that 4 years of life in League One will come to an end for Ipswich Town after next Sunday's season finale on the Fylde Coast at Fleetwood. And it's fair to say a lot has happened at this football club since an historic day for different reasons at Portman Road on the 13th of April 2019.
That's it. Ipswich Town are relegated. 4 words we've feared uttering for so long that have now become a reality. The Blues will play in the 3rd tier of English football for the first time in 62 years come August. A dark, dark day for the club of Ramsey and Robson, the Cobbolds and Crawford, Beattie and Butcher, Mills and Mariner. If Roger Osborne's goal in the Wembley sunshine is at one end of a scale, we're now at this very moment at the other end. There's pain in the stands, on the pitch, in the town, across the county, heartbreak for thousands. We've just got to hope and pray for a brighter future.
We've brought in 2 free transfers, 1 loan, maybe 1 short term. Don't need to be Einstein, so to see what it is.
Is that enough to get out of this division?
No, it's not. Absolutely not. No.
Interesting reaction from the North Stand. Marcus Evans, get out of our club. They're chanting at the moment. Not being directed towards Paul Lambert or the players. Marcus Evans, get out of our club.
You know, championship is absolutely our goal, but beyond that, I don't know why anyone would be investing in English football if they didn't have aspirations to get to the Premier League.
Chance for a 4th town goal. It's in. It's Wes Burns who's got it. What a marvellous night for Ipswich Town on the south coast. Who predicted a 4-0 scoreline at Portsmouth? On watches Paul Cook. Terrible result this for him and Ipswich Town. For all it's been better in the second half, Ipswich Town are about to draw 0-0 with Barrow.
The stadium in the first half wasn't a very nice environment, you know, with supporters basically wanting to turn, which I get.
There's been a growing concern about performances and results. The board just felt on Saturday night unanimously that they wanted to make a change and it was time to do that.
No, I had my family down from, see, they're still based in Manchester at the moment, so they came down and we enjoyed a Christmas in the lovely Salthouse Hotel. Got very well looked after, and like I said in my first press conference, you can feel the attachment to the club and how willing everyone is for the club to do well. So that's been nice getting out to be able to be in around the town and meet people.
Kieran McKenna celebrates the first goal for Ipswich Town during his time in charge.
We're probably the hardest working team in the league, and I'll openly say that. I know that kind of competitive edge in training really does bring the lads closer together. You know, we are at it every day. There's competition in every place.
Here comes Burns leading the charge for Ipswich Town on the counter. Who's up there with him? He looks into the centre to Hurst. Hurst volleys it. Oh, what a goal! A beautiful finish from George Hurst. It's his first league goal for the club, and what a memorable one it might be. The Town fans are all up on their feet. That was a beauty.
We believe we've got good players, one, and we believe, you know, the coaching staff are good as well, and they set us up well. When we all believe in our ability, and we need to show it, obviously, week in, week out, and it's coming together quite well.
Ball is boxed to Ladapo to make it 4, and he has done! Ladapo's first touch of the game is an absolute beauty. 7 minutes to go. Town trailed 1-0 in a game they had to win. It's now 1-1. What can Broadhead do from the penalty spot? Is he a hero out there? Forward he comes. Yes, he is! Nathan Broadhead, we love you!
He gives so many people such joy. It's incredible.
Clark wide on the right-hand side. Clark then goes over the top. Flag stays down. Burns can't control it. Hurst tries to put it past the goalkeeper. Comes out as far as Chaplin with a chance to make it 3-0. Oh, what a lovely chip! It's Chaplin against his former club. His 27th of the season. And the blue invasion off to our left is loving it. Ipswich Town 3, Barnsley 0. Town are 1 win away from promotion to the Championship.
We just need one more big performance, really. We got to focus on the performance. It's nice to, you know, we've never really thought about any other teams with points totals, as I've said all along. So we're just focused on performing to the end, and now we have to, you know, recover well, because it's been a big effort, and go out on Saturday and deliver another performance.
You know, players have shown they can deal with pressure and expectancy, which will be there on Saturday, won't it? After you've won at Peterborough, you've won at Barnsley, they will expect a victory.
Of course, yeah, that's been the case all season, really. If you come to Ipswich Town, you know, we want that expectation to be there, that you go out and perform and you win. So, yeah, that's not any different. And again, it's just about, you know, being professional next few days, doing our jobs and being ready for the game.
Morsey, good ball from the captain. Chaplin, edge of the box, trying to set himself. And what a goal! Connor Chaplin! Oh, what a start from Ipswich Town! Hurst inside the box, gives it to Luongo. Bursting forward, Luongo! 2-0 Ipswich! Luongo, lovely ball down the left-hand side to Broadhead. Broadhead has open grass, he gets into the box. Town looking for a third goal! And it's there! Oh, today just gets better and better and better. 22 minutes played in the Portman Road sunshine, and it's 3-0 to Ipswich Town. George Hurst with a tap-in, and Ipswich Town are on their way to promotion. Broadhead against Woods. It's 4-0 Ipswich Town. Utterly extraordinary from this superb group of players. Hurst battling for the ball, bouncing around in there. Two players go for the same ball, and Chaplin makes it 5-0. No one dreamt of this last night. What a crazy afternoon in the sunshine at Portman Road. The goals are flying in. Home fans just cannot believe what they are seeing. They are seeing Kieran McKenna's men storm their way into the championship. Connor Chaplin makes it 5-0, and we still have 12 minutes of the first half to go. Ball at the top from Chaplin to Burns. Burns is going to get goal side. Lifted over the keeper! And you know what? That's number 6 for Ipswich Town. Burns dances in front of the North Stand, and Ipswich Town carry on in the second half where they left off in the first, and they're now battering Exeter City by 6-0. Utterly unbelievable. Ipswich Town are promoted to the championship. 4 long years at League One level are over, and they have done it in style. A 6-0 victory over Exeter City, and there is a pitch invasion at Portman Road. Kieran McKenna, the youngest manager in the Football League, in his first full season as a manager, has got Ipswich Town promoted, following in the footsteps of Mick O'Brien, Scott Duncan, Alf Ramsey, Bill McGarry, John Lyle and George Burley 23 years ago. It's Ipswich Town's first automatic promotion since 1992, and boy, have they done it in style. This is a 13th win in 14 matches, a 13th clean sheet in 15. They are simply too good for any other side at this level. It means so much to these Ipswich Town supporters. So many years of misery, so much disappointment, so much apathy. Smiles are on faces. The big dark cloud has disappeared from Portman Road at this moment in time, this Saturday afternoon in late April 2023. There is no happier club on the planet than Ipswich Town.
There certainly isn't, and the party is in full swing. The promotion party at Portman Road. This from a very proud EJ, who's called in, says congratulations to everyone at Ipswich Town Football Club. Years of disappointment, and we so deserve this. Well done to Mark Ashton. What a turnaround since his appointment. The lines are open. 0800 141 2121. Loads more texts coming through. We'll get to those. 81333 is the message number. Start your message with SFK. You can WhatsApp us 08000 321 333. Mick Mills is at Portman Road for us on BBC Radio Suffolk. Wow, incredible scene. Just had a message from Brenner, Mick, who's somewhere on the pitch. He says nowhere near getting any reaction, sadly, and you can confirm why that's the case.
The party's still going on. I mean, the players are just absolutely loving this occasion. I mean, they really are. They've been all around the pitch. They've been to all the stands. They constantly keep going back to the North Stand. They're there at this present moment. They're having a big group photograph in the framework of the goals, and they are absolutely loving it. I've seen Mark Ashton being interviewed by Foz, and he seemed to get a section of the crowd going just in front of us here. And, you know, it's just, it's chaotic. It's tremendous. It's really not one of the stands is sort of anywhere near empty. You know, the North Stand is absolutely chock-a-block. The South Stand, that's pretty full still. I was led to believe that there was going to be some presentations for the Player of the Year awards, but I can't see that happening, not now. This is, everybody's just enjoying themselves, you know, and I don't think you could get any sort of attention from anyone. I can't see Brenner. I mean, there's lots of spaces down there, but I can't see Brenner at all, you know. It's just a question of, I mean, there's some players that are at the thick of everything. Luke Wolfenden and Harry Clark just cannot leave the North Stand alone. They're local boys. They're just absolutely, they're loving every moment of it. Wes Burns is probably at the thick of the action as well. Some players are more quiet than others, but Harry Clark and Luke Wolfenden, you know, they just, this is, you know, this can't get any better for them, can it?
It's just brilliant. I mean, we heard from Luke Wolfenden ahead of kick-off, brought you a bit of the interview that Brenner did with him post-match at Barnsley on Tuesday, and, you know, he was talking about the fact that, you know, there's been chances there's been offers on the table for him to leave Ipswich Town, but he's stayed, he's signed new deals in the hope of winning promotion with this football club. He said, I hope that can come to fruition. And today he's got that dream, so no wonder he's right in the thick of things. And there's lots of reaction on our BBC Suffolk social media pages. Some great scenes from Portman Road, both pre-match and post. And Town themselves have tweeted not so long ago just a video clip. You mentioned Harry Clark, just in absolute floods of tears, getting to celebrate this with his family, but, you know, really involved there as well. As you say, 2 local boys. And thinking about Harry Clark, what is it? Just that, you know, just over a handful of games. What a period for him, coming back to the club in January. And he's played his part in this phenomenal run. You know, for a few of us thought this day wouldn't come and that Town would have to try and do it via the playoffs. But it's been a remarkable turnaround. He's played a big part in that, as have, you know, the other 3 guys that came in January.
Yeah, they've played a really key part to it all, you know, and you've got to just say that the management of the club has been superb. It really has, you know, to sort of recognise certain things, you know, early on, you know, bringing Kieran McKenna to the club, and then, you know, sort of everything going really well this season, and then all of a sudden we're having that bit of a drop-off around Christmas time. And, you know, to go out there and to bring in 4 players that they brought in, and just to make sure that the chance wasn't lost, was fantastic management. It really was. But credit to those 4 players, because it's not easy. It's not easy to sort of all of a sudden break away from one club and go to another club and sort of give it your best form straight away, but they've done that. I mean, football is such an up and down game. I mean, you imagine Harry Clark, you know, one moment his dream of being a top player at Arsenal was evaporated, and then all of a sudden you see him today, as you say, in floods of tears, in front of his hometown people, in front of his family, celebrating an occasion like this. You know, this will be a massive lift for him. It really will. You know, he would be thinking, I've lost every opportunity I was ever going to get when things weren't going for him at Arsenal. But this now, he will have forgotten about his time at Arsenal. He will have forgotten all about that opportunity. All he will see now is going further and further with his hometown club, and I think he's one hell of a player. I really do. I mean, I played in his position. I know what it's all about, and I watch him and I think he doesn't do much wrong, this guy. You know, his decision making is good. He's aggressive when he needs to be aggressive. He uses his skills when he needs to use his skills. He gets angry with people. He pats people on the back. You know, he's a perfect sort of player. He's a perfect guy. He's dancing around now on his own in front of his family. You know, he won't leave him alone. It's an amazing occasion for him.
It certainly is. Let's just talk about the next step, really. After Fleetwood on Sunday week, it's the Championship. Town are preparing for that. And you know, the players you just mentioned there, Harry Clark and Luke Wolfenden, have circled those, you know, best playing years still to come, still ahead of them. Leif Davis, likewise. Connor Chaplin, likewise. Nathan Broadhead, likewise. You can probably add more to that list. This is going to be a good team in the Championship, isn't it?
Well, Graham, it's been done before where, you know, clubs have got back-to-back promotions and gone from Division 1 to the Premier League. So it can, you know, there's no reason why we can't do it. You know, we've got a really good squad of players here, and they play the way they play football. It's A-level football. It really is. It's not one-dimensional. You know, that's why I give them a hell of a chance. I really do. You know, because they are playing top-grade football. They really are, and they know what they're doing. There's certain players in the team that are very key to it being successful, but there are always, you know, leaders in a team. But this has been a fantastic group. It really has, and I'll tell you what, it's when you think of poor old Sheffield Wednesday, you know they're going to end up with something like 96 points.
If they win next week, yeah.
Yeah, and not get automatic promotion, you know. So that just tells you how good Ipswich Town have been, you know. So fantastic. These 4 boys that have come in January, you know, they've been They've been brilliant, they really have. George Hurst was a little bit of a slow starter, but he's come on leaps and bounds, and Massimo Luongo gave Sam Morsey a partner at exactly the right time. You know, Cameron Humphreys had done it for a short spell, and we knew it was only going to be a short spell because he's such a young lad, you know, and he'll have his day, there's no question about it. But Sam needed some help, he was given help, and Massimo Luongo gave it to him, and they became sort of possibly, well, I think, the best two central holding midfield players in the division. No question at all about that. And we've spoken about Harry Clark, but Nathan Broadhead, you know, can you forget him? I mean, gee whiz, silky smooth. This guy's got an abundance of ability, you know. He produces passes that you wouldn't dream of making, you know, and he's scored goals, he's been an assist maker. What a signing. I know it was relatively expensive for this division, but, you know, that moves you on to another section of the club, doesn't it? The people that are here to invest money in this football club will do it. They've already proven to us in this division that they will invest if necessary, and I know without question when we start next season, we'll start with money invested. You know, they'll want promotion to the Premier League as quickly as possible, because that is what their investment is all about. And if people think that I'm dreaming that Ipswich Town can't go to the Premier League, I've used the example before: Brighton, Fulham, Brentford. They've been up there this season in the Premier League. Three clubs that are not as big as us, three clubs that have done fantastically well. They've been brilliantly managed. They have been comfortable in the Premier League all season. And if we can't, we use them as an example. You know, we should just look at them. Don't look at Manchester City, don't look at Manchester United and people like that. Just look at those three. And there's a little target for you. You know, there's an example for you as to where we can go. And I firmly believe that we can do it, and it won't take long. It really won't take long, because this club is really, really well managed. It really is. I mean, I've met the guys at the top. They know what they're doing. They really do, you know, and I'm talking about the chairman, fantastic guy. You know, and if anybody underneath him gets a little bit carried away, he's got the right mentality to say, hey, just settle down, you know. And he'll be the guiding influence. And then underneath that, Mark Ashton, you know, he's ambitious. If you want to meet an ambitious man, that's one. You know, there might be one or two things you don't like about him, but forget that. He's going to lead the club. He's going to be demanding. He's going to be demanding of the owners. He's going to be demanding of the manager. He's going to be demanding of the players. And then you've got Kieran McKenna. You know, I was just looking at him now. He's
well, that's one thing. I was talking about players, Mick, that have got their best years ahead of them potentially in this squad. What about Kieran McKenna? This is his first full season in senior management. He's the youngest manager in this division. What can this man achieve?
Well, it's amazing, and he looks like somebody straight off the street. You know, they don't wear suits anymore and collars and ties. He's just got a scruffy old jumper on and a pair of trousers, but the man inside is immense. You know, he really is. He's when he gave us that talk, he invited some sort of ex-players in for some dinner. I think it was February time last year. And as soon as he spoke to us, as soon as he talked to us about what he wants to do and showed us on film what he's doing, you couldn't help but think, yeah, he's the right man for this job. He's going to teach these guys what the game is all about. And I'm led to believe he's one hell of a teacher. He talks well, doesn't he? I mean, every interview he does is absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
Whatever he's going to choose to say tonight, I'll bet you it'll be absolutely perfect. You know, he'll be feet on the ground. He'll praise everybody that needs praising. He'll forget about himself. No, we've got a winner there, that's for sure. You know, and Mark Ashton has got to just keep puts the other clubs at bay, because there's no question his name will be mentioned this summer, not just in Suffolk, it's going to be mentioned elsewhere. I mean, it's not so long ago when he came here and somebody said, I see you've appointed a new manager. I said, oh, I haven't seen that. Who is it? Kieran McKenna. Oh, who's he? I didn't even know him, you know, and I think I speak for everybody in Suffolk. I don't think anybody in Suffolk knew him. They know him now.
You certainly do, and I think someone somewhere might be drawing up a new contract potentially for Kieran McKenna soon. You mentioned Mark Ashton's name as well. James in Clacton says, what an incredible afternoon and performance. Congratulations to Kieran McKenna and the boys. I haven't felt this happy since securing European football at home to Man City in 2001. Brilliant. Keith says, I can't believe we won after years. We did it. We're promoted. This one from Captain Canary, would you believe? Congratulations to the supporters and everyone connected at Ipswich Town. Thoroughly deserved promotion. See you at Carrow Road next season. A considerably concerned Captain Canary, he adds. Lovely one here from Jackie and Mike in Alton Broad. I've been listening in Norfolk at the James Paget Hospital with my husband. Thank you, everyone at Ipswich Town. You did wonders. Cheered him up. The glory days are back. Blue Army. Jeff from Hadley says, one step closer to the promised land. We've talked about players. One of the names you mentioned in the Mick, and we heard from him ahead of kickoff, Massimo Luongo. He's been involved in 15 Town games since he returned to the club in January. 13 of those have been wins, yet to be in a losing team. Is he top of the shopping list? Yesterday, talking about his future, he indicated he would like to be at Ipswich Town. I know agents will play a part, and other clubs might potentially come in for him as well. But this is the place to be, isn't it?
I think today we'll sell the club to him, you know, there's no question about it. This won't go out of his mind. It's, you know, as soon as everything's settled down, if I was Mark Ashton, I would secure that one immediately. You know, while this is fresh in his mind, you know, you could probably get him on a cheap contract at this present moment in time, but you wouldn't want to do that. He's been good. And also everything sort of, you go back to this, that might have had something to do with the manager. If the manager hadn't been connected to Michael Carrick, that might not have happened, you know, because he wasn't being used up at Middlesbrough. All of a sudden there must have been a phone call between the two, and there must have been a favour given, because Massimo hadn't played for the first half of the season, and there was sort of some doubt about maybe just a few niggly injuries. But that's a favour that Michael Carrick has done Kieran McKenna by just saying, look, if you've got any doubts whatsoever, just have him down for a fortnight's training. There's no better way of making an assessment of a player than having him on your training ground, having him with you sort of every day of the week. So that sometimes is the type of thing that's good, you know. You've got to have connections, you really have. It's no good being a sort of one-man band with no friends out there. You've got to have a few friends. You've got to have a few favours given you, and that was a favour. And I think that, you know, he now would have loved. I mean, he's not. When you look at his career, he's not somebody who's just been at one club all his life. He has moved around, so he's used to doing that. And I'm sure there will be nothing else in his mind but sort of signing a contract for Ipswich. And, you know, his test will be, can he repeat what he's done for us in this division, in the first division? Can he now, next season, take it up a division? And from what I've seen, I would have said yes, definitely. I mean, he's shown, okay, sometimes Kieran has substituted him, but that's only circumstantial. That's nothing to do with the lad's fitness or anything. He can compete. He's got the fitness to last 90 minutes. He's got the fitness to play Saturday, Tuesday. But more than that, he's got the technical ability. He's fantastic on the ball. Him and Sam Worsey, the way they protect the ball when they get in possession of it is fantastic. You know, they really are. They have a way of protecting the ball from the opponent. They keep possession and they keep the move going all the time. They've been superb. They have as a partnership. I mean, Sam's going to stay. He'll be here next year, so there's no reason why Massimo. If I was Massimo, I wouldn't look beyond this club. you know, you're in a fantastic team. 2, you've got a fantastic partner to play with, and also you've got the manager who obviously keeps saying is the right type of manager, who will constantly make things interesting on the training ground and will constantly take the pressure off you as a player from match to match.
He was joking yesterday as well, Massimo Luongo, that him and Sam Morse are often referred to as the twins in training at Portman Road, which was nice to hear. But they obviously work very well together and get on with each other off the pitch as well. Just going back to the manager, some wonderful scenes that you were speaking to me about earlier. He got the Olays, and all the team rushed over to him and lifted him up in the air, and yeah, he's well and truly involved in those full-time scenes.
Yeah, the player, all of a sudden there was a group of them just sort of by the North Stand, and there was a group of players that must have instigated it, and it was like a big magnet. You saw all the other players that were dotted around all of a sudden saw the action taking place, and they all made a beeline for it, and you can imagine the strength of about 11 or 12 players throwing you. And I think Kieran would be the first to admit he's a bit of a lightweight. You know, you're throwing him, he was going up a fair old height, and they must have thrown him up a dozen times, you know, so that's nice. You know, I think that's nice, you know, that there's a happy feeling between them. You know, that you wouldn't do that if you had an angry old manager, would you, who tomorrow would sort of have something to say about it. So no, there must be sort of a good feeling between them. There's a respect, but there's also a good feeling.
Certainly is. You mentioned Sheffield Wednesday earlier as well, the fact that they can't now end the season on 96 points, but we know for a fact they will not be going up automatically. It's the playoffs for them, for Barnsley. Bolton have booked their place in the top 6 today as well, so it's just between Derby and Peterborough on the final day, so who gets that final playoff place. We have to mention Plymouth. Want to do it under our breath, but I mean, wow, what a season they've had as well. And lots of people are saying Town are the best team in the division. You look at the goal difference, plus 66 for Town, plus 33 for Plymouth, but they still have that one more point on the board. Fair play to them. They've got themselves right back on a run of wins, and it goes to the final day with regards to who will lift that trophy. 98 points now for Plymouth. If what Town have done this season, Mick, is remarkable, you have to say the same of Plymouth as well, don't you?
Yeah, I think the first thing, if you're talking about Plymouth and ourselves, you know, we had to go out and add 4 players to our squad to make this happen. Plymouth actually lost about 3 players at Christmas time. You know, the goalkeeper, who was regarded as being the best in the division, he got injured. There's a player from Swansea, went back, they had him on loan, and he was recalled. You know, they lost about 3 players, and yet were still able to sort of keep the whole thing going. So they have been absolutely brilliant, they really have. But also, when you look at the top of I mean, we talk about the first division and say, well, it's not a very good division, is it? But the top of the division has been very, very good. It really has. We've talked about Plymouth, ourselves, and Sheffield Wednesday, the amount of points that we put on the board. But even when you look below that, you know, already, you know, with 1 game to go, the 6th place team is on what is regarded as the entry into the playoffs. It's the target that you set yourself to get a playoff place, 75 points. The 6th place team is already there, you know, and probably will go on to maybe 78 by the time it's finished. You know, and they are quality. You know, you're talking in terms of Barnsley, who are not, they're a good club. Derby, fantastic club. And Bolton, you know, they've had good times, they've had big times, they've been up right at the very top, you know. So the top of the first division this year has been excellent, it really has. And that's why this achievement to actually be there and gain promotion today with a game to go is a tremendous achievement. It really is, because the top of the division has been good.
Another text here from Andy, Ryan and Steve. From the moment we welcomed the coach amid flags and flares, the sun shone as brightly as we did with an explosive first half show of dominance, finishing and an intention of what Championship sides can expect to face next season. It's been a long 4 seasons in the 3rd tier, but today made those painful days under Marcus Evans and Paul Hurst, Paul Lambert and Paul Cook worthwhile. This is a project that's been in the making since the game changers, Mark Ashton and Kieran McKenna, arrived here. It's been a pleasure watching us develop, especially in recent months, and the 23-24 season cannot come soon enough. Norwich City, we are coming from you, say Andy, Ryan and Steve. Just one more from you, Mick Mills. I sat next to you on April the 13th, 2019, when relegation to League One was confirmed. It was a very dark day in the club's history, just completely contrasting scenes today. And as Brenner kind of touched on with you at full time, you're a very happy Ipswich Town legend this evening, aren't you?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, there have been some sort of very difficult times, and you know, I came in the club when we were sort of Championship level, and I saw it rise very, very quickly. I saw, you know, a troublesome club at times when I first came here, but you know, I also saw, you know, the great days, you know, the really fantastic days, and again it was similar, you know, where, you know, at board level, absolutely fantastic, you know, with the cobbles. You know, the club was brilliantly run, and then it was brilliantly managed by Bobby Robson. The players were outstanding, and there's now a sort of like a similarity, you know, sort of all of the. So, I mean, we've had good times in between. I mean, John Lyle's time was good, you know, and George Burley's time was very good. But unfortunately, we have had a long spell where we've had absolutely nothing. Just the one playoff game against Norwich, you know, home and away. That's the only thing since George Burley's days, really. Although Joe Royle took us into the playoffs, but you can sort of, in a way, it was very very disappointing to be sort of we were the sort of record breakers of the length of time we were in the Championship, I think, but nobody really wanted that honour. But you really didn't want to go down to the First Division. I mean, that was a horrendous time for the club. It really was. But we're out of it now. We're out of it now. We don't want to spend another 20 years in the Championship. That's what we don't want. What we want to do is spend 12 months.
That's all. That'll do for us, 12 months. Mick, look, it's the final time we hear from you this season in Matchday on BBC Radio Suffolk. It's been brilliant to share this season with you. A privilege to have you with us for Saturday match days at Portman Road. We will go again with Ipswich Town in the Championship, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks a lot, Graham.
Mick Mills on BBC Radio Suffolk. Alex Matthey alongside Brenner Woolley on Sunday week for the season closer at Fleetwood. It is a midday kickoff. We will be on air from 11 o'clock with match. It'll be great to hear Alex's thoughts. So passionate as always about Ipswich Town, and really on a high during and after the Tuesday win at Barnsley. So it'll be great to get his thoughts on Town's promotion as well. You can hear lots is going on in the background at Portman Road. Brenner Woolley will be getting reaction from the fixture, but it's going to be too late for this programme. We're off air in a couple of minutes' time. We've got BBC Music introducing in Suffolk from 8 o'clock. We've got Upload with Sophie Little from 6. But stay across our socials, stay across BBC Suffolk on BBC Sounds as well, because as and when we do get interviews, they'll be going up there. Check our socials now for some great scenes from early in the day and post-match scenes as well from Portman Road. It really has been a phenomenal day for everybody connected with Ipswich Town and the club supporters as well. And it's been great to hear from all of you texting and WhatsApping the programme. We are just about done. It's a double promotion party, I'm pleased to report, because another Suffolk side has earned the right to play at a higher level next season. That is AFC Sudbury. They were in the Isthmian North playoff final this afternoon at home to Heybridge Swifts. Nick Garnham was at the Mel Group Stadium.
AFC Sudbury 1, Heybridge Swifts 0. And marathon man Jake Turner's 98th minute goal ensured AFC Sudbury have gone the full distance in this season's promotion race. The midfielder, who took part in last Sunday's London Marathon, headed home from close range after Joe Grimwood had nodded a deep left-wing cross back across goal. The match had been a fairly turgid affair during the regulation 90 minutes. The first half was punctuated by too many stoppages and both sides lost a player to injury. The second period was no better, with neither team prepared to gamble with so much at stake. After Sudbury had taken the lead, right at the end of the first half of extra time, Ollie Brown cleared a header from Haybridge Swift's Cuba Gordon off the goal line following a corner. Swift's keeper Tom Ray then made a good save at close range from Nandi Nawachuku's shot on the turn following a right-wing corner by Rhys Harris. Haybridge piled on the pressure in the closing stages, but AFC Sudbury keeper David Hughes and his defence held firm, while Nawachuku was denied a second goal right at the death by Ray. Final score, AFC Sudbury 1, Haybridge Swifts 0.
Super stuff. So AFC Sudbury win promotion to the third tier of non-league football. Absolutely incredible stuff for Rick Andrews. Thoroughly deserved his side. Getting more than 90 points. They lost out on the title to #United, but both will be playing at Step 3 of the non-league period of next season. So AFC Sudbury joining the likes of Needham Market and Leiston as well. And we'll have another team. They leave Step 4, but they're replaced by Ipswich Wanderers, who'll be in the Isthmian North after wrapping up the Thurland Premier Division title not so long ago. We're pretty much done as far as match day is concerned. Like I say, one more to go this season, but to come before then, all the reaction from today's game you will hear with Sarah Lilly tomorrow at breakfast. There'll be much more on Monday as well, I'm sure, and throughout the week. Looking forward to catching up with another town legend, in fact, John Walk, on next week's Thursday Night Sports Social, when we'll be reflecting on this season in some style. We're on air on Thursday from 6 through until 10 o'clock. Check BBC Sounds as well for the latest Track to Social podcast when that drops. Ipswich Town 6, Exeter City 0. We waited a long time for this. What a season it has been. Congratulations to all the players, to Kieran McKenna and everybody connected with Ipswich Town, including the supporters, of course. Enjoy your evening. All the very best. We are pretty much done with match night. I've actually ran out of things to say and superlatives to say with regards to this team. And like I say, we've just waited so long for a season like this. And yeah, it's days like this that you're on the radio for, really. So pleased. Luke Wolfenden is one of the players that Brenna Woolley is chatting to right now. So like I say, that interview, if you check BBC Sounds, will be going up very shortly. Enjoy the rest of your night.
On the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker,
Play BBC Radio Suffolk.
and on your radio.
The sound of Suffolk is
BBC Radio Suffolk.